Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service.
Command, this is Car 33, I'm going on my break.
Good afternoon, welcome to Newcastle #1 Sports Ground. It's round 15 Black Diamond Cup action. The home side today will be the Cardiff Hawks, celebrating their Old Boys Day, the 10-year anniversary of the 2005 flag. The away side will be the Killarney Vale Bombers. My name's Ryan Webster. Beautiful day for footy here at Newcastle #1. Joining me, 700 game veteran from Killarney, it's Michael Smith. Mick, how's things, mate?
Good, Ryan. Thanks for that, mate. It's a good day to be here. Good weather. Hopefully we get a good game of footy.
Spot on. Gary Birkinshaw, he's off in Fiji or Tahiti. Who knows where he is, Mick? But you got the call up, mate. Are you looking to make this a permanent fixture? What's your plans?
We'll see what the end result is at the end of the day, how we go.
Yeah, well said as well. So Cardiff today, the home side. Their one win, unfortunately 12 losses for them in 2015. They've been more than competitive in last week's match against Newcastle City, which was also televised by Bar TV. Killarney Vale are 7-6, 7 wins, 6 losses. They went down quite convincingly to Terrigal Avoca, who've taken all before them in 2015. Mick, after a grand final appearance last year, probably a so-so season for the Bombers. They've had a few injuries. Haven't played the same 22 too many times, but still, third on the ladder, so a long way to go.
Yeah, you're right, Ryan. It's good to be in the four, and I think we've cemented a finals berth now. But as you said, injuries have hit us this year, but that's no excuse. You can only play the 22 you got on the field, and hopefully we get a few back toward the end of the year and make a run for the flag.
Yeah, spot on, mate. So probably safe to say at the moment, Killarney Vale are the third best side in the competition, behind Terrigal Avoca and Newcastle City. Terrigal Avoca have taken all before them. They'll be unbackable favourites in September, but if they can get their best 22, the Bombers, they'll push every side, won't they?
Well, they are a chance. If you're best 22, you're always a chance. But as you said, Terrigal are the guns, and they don't look like losing at the moment, do they?
Yeah, exactly right. So away we go, just about ready for a start. Round 15, the umpires today on the field will be Darryl Luck, Matt Howarth and Clayton Beck. On the boundary, Hickson and Williams, and in goal, Best and Luck. So the Bombers in the red and black going to the left of screen. Cardiff will be to the right. Doing the ruck work for Cardiff will be Bo, and it'll be young Ethan Lenson for the Bombers. And going through straight away was Walford there. Ball sort of bouncing around. Goes out through a far wing where it's Foster to get his first kick. He's an inclusion today, or a handball it was. Ball sort of still bombling around. Cardiff, as mentioned, they've only had the one win in 2015, but they've been super competitive, at least in the first half of just about every game they've played. So should be a good game today, Mick.
Yeah, they're a better team than only winning one game this year, Cardiff. They've got quality players all around the field. They just haven't put it together. Yeah,
spot on. So as mentioned earlier, it's their old boys' day today. They knocked off Killarney Vale, I think it was, in 2005, Mick.
Yes, they beat them. They won in the 2005, beat Killarney quite convincingly in the grand final there.
So celebrating that one today. So it's going to be a free kick back here, and I think it might be 50 metres actually, going the way of, is that Zara, Mick?
Mumford's going to get the free kick, I believe. Looked like it wasn't giving the ball back in a timely manner.
Gotcha. So it will be Mumford in the 21. Tom Mumford moved pretty well last week against the Panthers in a big loss. So Mumford here will kick from probably only about 35 metres out directly in front. And we see a lot of free kicks, 50-metre penalties in this competition for not delivering the ball back in a timely manner. So Mumford goes back, hits the kick pretty well. Goes over the line, misses that one to the right, Mick. Important to thank our major sponsor, Wilson Security, who's Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. They deliver a wide range of services to a diverse range of customers. For all your security needs, call Wilson Security on 1300 Wilson. So Sheldon bringing the ball back in there. We've seen him do a lot of the kicking in duties in 2015. Plays all over the ground, does the Elliot Davey medalist.
Chris Judd lookalike cashew there.
Exactly right. Plays a bit like him as well, actually.
Quality skills.
Absolutely. So that's Chapman going forward there for the Hawks, but one of the best fullbacks in the competition. It's Brendan Lewis, who's back into the side today, delivers out wide to Debnam. So Debnam on the halfback flank here for the Bombers, goes up the wing. It's not a bad kick. It'll find its target, but just a drop mark down there from Wilson, not good enough. Away goes Haig on his left side, delivers the footy. Can't do that at this level, Mick.
No, you got to take those grabs. It was in the right spot. He just...
Guy's a good footballer as well. Liam Gibson here for the Hawks, a veteran of the club.
Superstar, Gibbo.
Very good footballer. Great bloke as well. Just a turnover there at the wrong part of the ground by Wilson. So Gibson goes back. He's hit it pretty well. First goal of the day will go to the Hawks, Mick.
Yes, another good goal there from Gibbo. Good to see the Hawks get first goal on the board. In 2015, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and 3. Prime 7 coverage includes 4 games every round on 7 Mate, including the marquee Friday and Saturday night matches. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Great stuff there, Mick. So 3 minutes played here at number 1. It's Cardiff 6, leading Killarney Vale 1. Both sides having one shot at goal. Early on here was a behind to Mumford, but well down there to Gibson kicking the first goal of the day. And back in the middle we go. So it'll be Lenson up against Bo for Cardiff. 2 guys that are probably slightly undersized ruckmen compared to some of their counterparts in the competition. You look at Dawes from Newcastle City, Sam Ellis and Brendan Harper from Terrigal Avoca.
Yeah, there's some definite giants around in the other teams, and unfortunately Killarney haven't been blessed with ruckmen.
Yeah, probably something over the last few years. It's been constant with the Bombers. They haven't really had the ruck stock, so it makes that job that much harder, doesn't it, for the midfielders?
Yes, it does. You're always on the back foot trying to get the clearances out.
Yeah, so this is Murphy down there. He's an inclusion this week. Just to mention some of the ins for Killarney Vale, it is Murphy, Wilson, Foster, Lewis, Debnam, McVeigh and Barrett. Going out of the side is Higgins, Martin, Blackwood, Mumford, Amity, Young and Bailey. So a few changes this week for the Bombers from their loss last week to Terrigal Avoca. So it eventually ends up in the hands of Brendan Lewis, who's a good kick of the footy, goes over the head there of Shackleton, but it's deep forward for Killarney Vale. Shackleton gathers and does really well. Just the handball just missed down there. It was Wilson, I believe, Mick. Comes back anyway Wilson to Lewis, again. The skipper, has a shot at goal. Misses to the left. Second behind of the day there for the Bombers, but it was pretty well worked. Shackleton's a reliable footballer, got the left-handed handball inside, but unfortunately for the second time today, Campbell Wilson just fumbled over his head.
Yeah, the hand pass from Corey wasn't right on its mark,
True.
but you got to make the most of the opportunities and take those.
So here is that man, the Judd of the competition, as quoted by Mick Smith. It's a massive quote early in his commentating career, but it's a good leg there. Well said, mate.
It's justified with those sort of skills, aren't
Exactly. So Mayo on the half-back flank down there for the Hawks. This is Chapman. They missed him last week against Newcastle City. Kicks it down to the half-forward flank. There'll be another boundary throw-in. So we know that Cardiff have been certainly competitive in all of their games this year. It's probably just been the class and their lack of goal-kicking power that's cost them a few more wins. Good to see Daniel Lloyd fit for the Bombers. Such a great footballer, one of the best kicks getting round.
he? He's had a big pre-season, Daniel, and it's really paid off this year so far.
So Mumford there, he's had a bit of the footy early. Kicks it down there to centre wing. Another boundary throw in. So yeah, we already mentioned Killarney Vale. They had a fantastic 2014, massive final series, got into the grand final. They certainly would have wanted to build, but Newcastle City probably at this stage just the better side, rightfully in second position. Clean down there was Lloyd, did really well, but Debenham wasn't looking, or it might have been Zara for the handball. And here go the Hawks, just handballing, maybe overusing it a little bit across half-back. Eventually ends up with Jolliffe, I believe, and he blasts them forward. It's only one kick at Newcastle number one to get them forward. That's a great grab taken there by Mick Ryan, the veteran. So Ryan, who's he got to kick to? You can see the Bombers' backs just dropping back here. He's going to have to take a good overhead mark to beat them. He doesn't on that occasion. It was O'Neill. Boundary umpire will have it. They're going to have to be clean today, Cardiff, if they're going to win, going forward, especially Mick.
Yeah, you have to be very clean, as Mick Ryan was there. He's an absolute star of the comp. He has been for the last 15 years.
He would have played in that 05 grand final that they're celebrating.
Yes, he did. He's super strong hands, Mick Ryan. He's very rarely beaten one-on-one.
So that's Spriggs down there at the bottom of the pack. Still bobbling around. No one taking clean possession. Looks like we'll have another boundary throw in, so already a few of those today. Round 15, the home and away season coming to a close. Should be a really good final series. The majority of them will be played at this ground. All of them will be played at this ground. That's a holding the ball decision there, going to go against Killarney Vale. Very hot on the whistle there was the umpire.
Yeah, that one against Daniel Cartwright.
So Cartwright there penalised for holding the ball, and I think it might be Ben Stewart here going back for a set shot at goal, who we saw play his 200th game earlier this season against Terry Golovoka down at West Gosford. Great footballer as well. So Stewart runs in, pretty quick pace, drop, punt, kick is on its way, and he's hit it really well.
Straight
Second
through.
goal of the day goes to Cardiff. They lead 12-2 here at Newcastle number one.
The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. The Herald's reporting and commentary leads public debate in the region and its coverage of local issues. From businesses and politics through to sport and entertainment is second to none. The Newcastle Herald, the voice of the Hunter, in print, online and mobile.
Good stuff there, Mick. So back in the middle we go. So Lenson and Bo still doing the ruck work there for their respective clubs. Both medium-sized ruckmen. Back in the middle again. On hands and knees there. It'll eventually come out. It's well done there, backing up. Lenson eventually ends up with Debenham here. Just got tackled. Holding the footy every day of the week.
Quicker. Needs to be much quicker there.
It just wasn't good enough there with the awareness. So it ends up with Tom Gordon for the Hawks. He's at centre half back. Good tackle there. Just need to get on the boot quicker. Get any one-on-one to Lloyd, Mick. He's going to beat them, isn't he?
You need to take that first option as your best option every time you taught that as a kid.
Absolutely. So good to see this man fit again. This is Rick White. Had bad hemis this year. He's going to go for Walford. Good grab there taken by Kyle. No. Fumbled over the line. Be a boundary throw in on centre wing. So we've played nearly 9 minutes here at number one. 2 goals straight to Cardiff. The Killarney Vale, the 2 behinds. We expect this to be a pretty tight and tough game despite the Hawks only having the 1 win in 2015. So another free kick here. It's going to go the way of... Might be Walford, Mick.
Yeah, Kyle Walford's come across this year from Western Sydney comp. Just beats one-on-one there.
So Walford does pretty well. The kick wasn't great for Shackleton. Kept the ball in front of him though, Shackleton, and did actually really well. Comes back to Debnam, who's been pretty active. Good little handball there to Zara. On the left side, Rob Zara has a shot at goal. Terrific kick. First goal of the day to the Bombers. They're on the board. 12 plays 8 here at number 1 Sports Ground. Really well worked there, the Bombers, Mick.
Yeah, it was very good there. Quick hand see by Trent Dedman there. He learnt from his previous mistake. And Rob Zara, the candy man.
The candy
Put
man.
one straight through there. Loves selling candy.
It's good. Sensational. So Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. Really good game of footy here early at number 1. 2 goals to Cardiff, 1 to Killarney Vale, but probably similar inside 50s as we see the number 10 for the Bombers, Mark McVeigh, go onto the ground. He was a late arrival at number 1. He might get a touch here early, playing out on a wing. Goes in hard, he's clean straight away, McVeigh. Gets a touch, he's been on the ground 15 seconds. Ends up with Lewis, he's had a great 2015. Back to White. He'll want his left side, and how often does he just wheel onto it? He's a great player, Rick White. Goes out for Mumford, who's been pretty busy early. Will he get around Koshin? It's well done, Koshin there with the tackle. Jolliffe might get there first. The umpire's paid a free. Did he hold him too long? No, it's going to be holding the footy maybe, Mick. Against
I think
Mumford.
Tommy might have went on with the tackle after he got rid of the ball there.
Gotcha. So Koshin kicks into the centre of the ground. Well done there, Brendan Lewis. Mr. Reliable. Handball's back and away go the Bombers through centre wing. They'll go for Lloyd here. So Daniel Lloyd on centre wing now. The next kick's important. Who's he got up forward? No one at this stage. He's going to kick. He's going to drill a pass. Gee, he's just a beautiful user of the footy. Drop mark there by Blackwood. Sheldon there. And just a holding free kick. That's just when you see 2 players. One who's probably more experienced. Probably just a classier player in Timmy Sheldon, Mick.
Yeah, he worked him well over there, Timmy Sheldon, on the birthday boy, Darren Blackwood.
Happy birthday to Darren. How old is he today?
Let's
Take a
go his
guess.
jersey number, 37.
Okay.
47, sorry. 47.
41, isn't he?
41?
If Daniel Cartwright's in 47, yeah, he'd be 41. He's doing well if he's 41. Here's Stewart, left-handed handball, the goal kicker. Ends up in the hands of Adlington. So Adlington goes now to, that's just a poor kick. It'll roll out of bounds. Half-forward flank for the Hawks. It's probably going to be the, probably the bottom 8, bottom 6 players at the side where Killarney Vale finish in the season. They're chopping and changing a few players. We know their top 10 are very good, but it's just if they've got the depth to compete with the Terrigal Evokers and the Newcastle Cities, who we know have the depth, Mick.
Yeah, that's it. I honestly believe, like you said there, the bottom 6 is where grand finals are won and lost. If you've got a good quality bottom 6, that makes it much easier for your better 10 players.
Yeah, depth certainly helps in a country footy league, as Barrett just scrubs one out in the left foot out to Lewis, who's probably had 6 or 7 possessions already. Had a very good 2015. I think he might be a smoky in the Elliot Davey this year. You've heard it here first. So now going to centre half forward for the Bombers. Great punch over
Tipping
the
against
top.
the brother there, Webby.
I'd say probably James Webster's $1.20 favourite, but I like Brendan Lewis. I think he'll poll pretty well. We do know that midfielders tend to win those awards though, don't we?
Yes, they do. I'd love to see a backman win it.
So away go the Bombers out here. That's Cartwright with the footy. Delivers on the right foot. It's a 2-on-1. Well done, Daniel Lloyd. Just a classy footballer. I called it earlier in the year, a game at Adelaide Street that we covered. Have a shot, Daniel.
He'll make the distance plenty easy. He could kick this on his left if he really wanted to.
Yep, this bloke is a good a kicker the Sharon as anyone in Australia in any league.
He's the best kick I've ever seen, Ryan.
Yep. Beautiful kick of the footy. I hope he dobs this now. So Lloyd just goes back. He started it to the right. It comes back. Look at that. That's why we commentate. Daniel Lloyd kicks the for the Bombers, and they've hit the front. It's a 4-point lead. Beg your pardon. It might be a 2-point lead here. 14 playing 12. First goal of the day to the classy Daniel Lloyd.
BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns, and the Brisbane Lions. And the exclusive on-field apparel supplier to the Black Diamond AFL. BLK, beyond limits known.
Great stuff, Mick. Great supporter of the league, the BLK.
The BLK jerseys do look quite good out there.
Yeah, they do. Well fitted.
On me, they are very well fitted.
Probably a little too well fitted on some people. Not us, please. So Hillier there, little handball over the top. Cardiff just working it by hands. They've just overdone it again there. So McVeigh back. It ends up with White. He won his left side. He drives them forward again. Lloyd, this might come over the back here for Daniel Lloyd. Just gets a hand to it. He's playing on. Is it Vukovic down there? Gee, just a beautiful sling tackle there. Player had possession of the footy. I'm trying to see who he's playing on down there, Lloyd. It is Vukovic. He's a great fullback. Little kick came from the 29, which is Martin for Killarney Vale. Ends up eventually with Gordon for the Hawks. Just throws it on the boot. Killarney Vale probably just looking the more relaxed side here at this stage. The bounce beat all of them. Down there is Foster for or Forster for Killarney. Vale ends up with the ruckman Lenson. Little handball over the top. Little fumble there, a little bit costly, but he does well. Who's that down there? Is that Walford?
Walford swish across there to Cartwright here.
So Cartwright now on centre wing for the Bombers. He's going to chip forward again. Really well worked here from the Bombers. Good play. That would impress Coach Pigeon. So it's going to be Harry Cunningham who will chip it to McVeigh. Can this guy go the distance? We know about his hemis. He's not going to. He's going to go for Lloyd. Why wouldn't you? Daniel Lloyd takes a mark on the paint. He'll have to kick it the best part of 50 metres, but we know he can do it, Mick.
Definitely, this is probably an easier kick than the last one, so there's no reason why he shouldn't put this one through.
He started this one out to the right. Not sure if there's a breeze. You might check that at quarter time, but Daniel Lloyd, who'll go for his second. He's having a great year in 2015. Hits this one fairly well. Will it get the distance? It won't. Falls down there, just crumbing beautifully was Zara. He missed it.
Unlucky for the Candyman there. He would have liked another 2 sausage rolls early on.
Yeah. Just a little bit of loose checking there from the Hawks. They got to watch that. The ball came to ground. Zara read it best. Threw it on the boot. Certainly gone inside 50 a bit more early, I think. Mick, the Bombers?
Yeah, the Bombers have about 7 inside 50s to Cardiff's 4 at the moment.
Okay, so that's Metcalf. He's had another good year as well, Zach Metcalf. And that's going to be holding the footy there, paid by Darryl Luck. So it'll go the way of the Bombers. Might be Cartwright, is it? No? Anyway, they go for the Bombers. Is that going to go over the back? It wasn't touched. Is that a goal?
Hey.
All clear, Killarney Vale.
I think that's one of the new boys that have come in today for the game.
We're just trying to get a jersey number here. We wish they'd turn around and do the right thing for the commentators. A terrific goal. We do apologise for not calling it earlier.
I'm going to have a punt and say it's young Patrick Murphy.
So it might be Murphy in the 14. We're still yet to confirm that. But well done there. So now Killarney Vale, they're out to a 21-12 lead here. Nearly into time on in the first quarter. Terrific shot. It was well shepherded through as well by Daniel Lloyd playing on Vukovic. So they go forward here. The Hawks through Chapman to full forward. Just using his body down there well was Gibson, I believe. But they will get out of trouble here, the Bombers. So they just chip it out to centre half back. Just the kick missed. Cartwright down there. Good tackle laid on Koshin. Players going in. It's well done there, O'Neill. He was clean below his ankles. Ball came out, so it's play on. Luck balk to pay the...
It's quality umpire, Darryl Luck.
Yeah,
I think he made 300 games the other week, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, mate. We'll go with it, though. Hopefully he gets the grand final. I dare say he will. And can we get confirmation, Mick, on the goal scorer back then? Was it Murphy?
Yeah, I'll just get the confirmation for you, Ryan.
Okay, mate. So that one there going out on the full. It's going to be a free kick to the Bombers. Deep fullback. So Lewis here for the Bombers. He's going to switch play. Go wide to Walford. He'll go further once again. He's going to go for Debnam, but a few skill errors here. That one's actually out in the full by Walford. Poor kick there. A few skill errors creeping in early here at number 1. It was Pat Murphy who kicked the last goal there for the Bombers, so well done to him. It was a great goal. Maybe an early contender for Play of the Day. Play of the Day today will get the Dusthund Hound $50 voucher for the Newcastle host restaurant chain, and it's well done down there to Hugh O'Neill for the Hawks, taking a strong chest mark in front of his opponent. And the young Hawk will go back and have a shot at goal. He'll be lining up for their third. They've kicked 2 straight already, the Hawks. 1 to Gibson and 1 to Ben Stewart, 2 of their veterans. So O'Neill comes in now. Important kick this. Drop punt, looks good. First goal of the day for him. And the third for the Hawks. They're away.
Belmont's 16-footers sailing club, located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie. Belmont's 16-footers is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. For all the latest news and promotions, visit 16s.com.au or find us on Facebook.
Good stuff, Mick. Yep, Belmont 16-footers will be the venue for the 2015 Elliot Davey presentation night. Just spilled a bit of my water.
Yeah, the Belmont 16 foot is a very nice establishment. They pour a good beer there.
Good stuff, mate.
And
You
a good
know.
feed. I know more about the feed.
So they go forward here. The Bombers. Lloyd, box seat. Play on the call, didn't take the grab. Metcalf on the ground. Haig now, he's on the right side for the left footer. Kicks it out here to centre wing. A little bit of a scrubby kick. McVeigh will get there first for the Bombers, just strong through the hips. Gets on his left side. Good footballer,
Just very clean.
isn't he? Yeah, and a good grab there taken by Martin. So Brendan Martin, he'll go forward now for the Bombers. And they're out. They've got numbers everywhere. Should be an easy mark. It is. Taken by, in the
Campbell
32,
Wilson.
Campbell Wilson. Couple of blues early, dropped a couple of overhead marks, does well on this occasion. And this would really lift his confidence if he can kick a goal here, Mick.
Yes, it will. He's missed a couple early drop marks. He's taken that one, realised on the chest, and now he's got a chance to put one through the big sticks for the team.
So they're 3 points in front at the moment. This for a 9-point lead. We're into time on now in the first quarter. He's going to miss that one. He might miss everything, actually. It'll drop short, so it'll be play on. Down there's Koshin. Also down there is Maddock. Do they get out of trouble here, the Hawks? It's well done there to Mayo, I think that is. The kick was for Chapman. He does well. He's a good player, Chapman. Just throws that one on the right boot, but that might be out on the full. Good pressure coming from, is it Barrett over there who laid the tackle?
I think that was Shawnee Sinclair.
Might be Sinclair in the 23, so...
Shawnee's back from a knee reconstruction this year. He's about third game back in. He's playing pretty well.
Good stuff. Hopefully he can finish off the season. That one was touched over the line by Blackwood. So, pretty even game of footy, this one. Only 3 points to the margin. Nearly quarter time here at number one. Getting there first is Adlington for the Hawks. Has time to double back. Just throws it on the left side into the middle of the ground. Numbers here with the Bombers, but couldn't take the chest mark. Play on is the call, and away go the Hawks through Ryan. So Ryan puts it on the right boot. That's a classy kick. And hits, might be Jeremy O'Brien there for the Hawks. So he goes to full forward looking for Koshin over the back. Brendan Lewis couldn't take the grab. Did well to follow up his own work, though. Eventually ends up with White. White little handball back to the wrong team. Doing well is the ruckman in Lenson. Left-handed handball missed the mark. A few skill errors here from both sides. Down there is Barrett for the Bombers. It'll be another boundary throw-in. The importance of skills, Mick, eh?
Well, it's showing now the Bombers could be a lot ahead, and also Cardiff could be up by a couple of goals as well if they were a bit more cleaner.
Already a few out in the fulls early in this game. So it's a centre-half forward here for the Hawks. They're going to the left of screen. Umpire's going to have that one. We've played nearly 22 minutes of the first quarter.
It's a funny ground, Warren. It's very wide, and yet the coaches always tell you, don't get stuck on the wings. Yet where does the ball go straight away? Straight to the wings.
Spot on, mate. It's literally 2 kicks from one end of the ground to the other.
And about 4 across the field.
Yeah, exactly right. So Zara's got the footy here for the Bombers. Does pretty well. So now Walford, who's been pretty busy in the first quarter as well. He's going to go for Lloyd. You just don't see him get beaten in a one-on-one contest, Daniel Lloyd. He wheels around onto his right. It's a one-on-one with Shackleton. He's playing on Metcalf. Strong hand, Shackleton. Gee, they've got some good plays in the forward half of the ground, the Bombers. Where's the next kick, though? They got anyone home who can take a grab. It's going to be for Sinclair. Good contest there given by the Cardiff backman. And away go the Hawks here. It's end-to-end footy. Eventually ends up with Jolloff. So he goes to full forward looking for Koshin. Is that a good kick? It is.
Very
sensational
nice.
Turnover play. Transition play, I should say, from the Hawks. From one end of the ground to the other, it looked like Killarney Vale were going to be the ones that were going to score, Mick. But
they
Cardiff did well.
You get that quick turnover and go directly to goal. It's one kick. Bang, and now Coast is having a shot on goal.
So Nick Koshin, the skipper. Important kick, this one. This would put them in front late in the first term for Koshin. His first shot at goal. Got a good view of it here. Right foot, drop punt. Is he tugged it? He has. Tugs that one to the left. So 2-point ball game here at number one Sports Ground. It'll be Lewis to do the kicking in. Did you like my call earlier? Is he going to win an Elliot Davey, the backman?
Definitely. I'll back him in.
Got to, mate. The clubman, surely. Very good
He just
footballer.
reads the play very well, Brendan Lewis. Gets in the right spots at the right time and does a lot of two-way running.
So Lewis here kicks to himself and now just goes long. Cardiff probably have the numbers here. Sinclair's there for the Bombers. No one really gets hands to it. It's well done to McVeigh. Just read it well. Does he take it out of bounds? He doesn't on that occasion. Play on the call. It now goes out of bounds. Classy footballer, McVeigh. You can imagine if he was fit and up and running and he had a few games under his belt, how damaging he'd be.
He makes a massive difference for a lot of the younger boys, helping them out, teaching them the game a bit better. But with Mark, you can just see how clean he is. He doesn't fumble, gets the ball, dishes it out, and then they're away.
champion of the AFL. Eventually ends up with Hillier. Just straightens up. Great goal. Crumbing goal there to the Hawks. Back-to-back goals. And they're away now, Cardiff. Goal of the day to Max Hillier. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Waratah Sports, another great supporter of our league. Great goal there, Mick.
Very good goal. Quick hands off the ground, clean hands, and put it straight through the big sticks.
Sitting up in the grandstand here we are at number 1. It's a good place to call footy, mate.
Very good place.
Close to the fans, as
close
we know.
Close to the fans, very close to some of the fans and some of the players, young boys. But the grandstand's quite packed today, so which is good. Good turnout, especially for the 2005 10-year reunion for the Cardiff Hawks.
Yeah, the old boys' day is what they're calling it. Ironic, as they actually defeated Killarney Vale that day. So back in the middle we are. There is Zara. He just dropped the footy there, Zara. Play on was the call, though. Comes back to Lewis. He's probably already had 10 possessions, I reckon, Brendan Lewis. Down there towards, I think it's Wilson, Patrick Murphy for the Bombers. Down there is McVeigh also. Getting there first, though, is the Hawks, and away they go through Haig. He loves the bounces. Haig, he kicked a great running goal last week against Newcastle City. He goes for, in the 25, it's Jeremy Koshin for the Hawks. It rolls over the back. Down there again is the goalkeeper, Lewis.
Smart option there by Lewis.
Yeah, good footballer. Very smart footballer. He'll kick out again here and goes for Barrett. So Barrett will play on his left side. He kicks long, and that's what you can do at number 1. They're already at half forward, the Bombers, for 2 kicks in. Metcalf, that's dropping the footy. Holding the ball every day of the week. It wasn't paid on that occasion. So Cardiff end up with the ball, fortuitously. Jolliffe kicks them in, down to half forward, but that one goes out on the full. That's a poor kick. A few skill errors here. It's going to go the way of the Bombers. They probably deserve a kick there after a holding the ball decision didn't go their way in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, from up here it looked like that was holding the ball for raw money there, but you can only play the whistle and got to move on as quick as you can.
So best on ground today, they'll get a $20 Subway Morissette voucher, a couple of teriyaki subs, and for the play of the day, it's a $50 voucher to the Das Hundhound German restaurant chain across Newcastle. Decided by Mick Smith, the man next to me.
It's a very, very nice award, that one there, Roy.
It's prestigious, don't worry about that. A lot of good sponsors in the league. Mentioned it a few times to Gary. Next year we'll be giving away Corollas or something. That's how good it's going. Sheldon down to Spriggs. Well worked here from the Hawks across half back. Eventually ends up with Gordon. He chips it out further wide again. I don't know why both these clubs keep persisting to go out to these wings instead of using the corridor. I know they probably don't have players in the middle, but they're just costing themselves different distance.
Yeah, they're just making a lot more hard work for themselves trying to get it back in through the corridor into the forward 50.
Yeah, Mick Ryan playing on Rumpler there at centre half forward. I'd much rather see the footy just go straight to him, back him in the one-on-one. Eventually ends up with Barrett, but that'll be quarter time here at Newcastle number 1 Sports Ground. It's Cardiff hosting Killarney Vale, and Cardiff lead this one 26-21 after a pretty even first quarter, Mick.
Yeah, it was, Cardiff got the jump at the very start there, and then Killarney Vale wrestled the momentum back, got on top, didn't make the most of opportunities, and Cardiff finished the quarter strong.
Good stuff, mate. The goal kickers, please.
The goal kickers for Cardiff, Benny Stewart with 1, Max Hillier with 1, and Liam Gibson with 1, and also Hugh O'Neill with 1. And for Killarney Vale, their goal scorers on debut, Patrick Murphy with 1, Daniel Lloyd with 1, and Rob the Candyman Zara with 1.
Good stuff there. Daniel Lloyd's and Patrick Murphy's goals were very good ones. So it's quarter time here at number 1. It's a 5-point lead to Cardiff.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service.
Command, this is Car 33. I'm going on my break.
We have a visual.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Welcome back, Newcastle number 1. It's the end of quarter time here. Cardiff leading 26-21 over Killarney Vale. Good opening quarter of footy. It was tight and it was tough. You got a few stats for us there, Mick?
Yeah, I got a couple of inside 50s here. The inside 50 is actually quite even in the end at the end of the first quarter.
There?
7 apiece, yeah.
And clearances as well, all going the way of Killarney Vale.
Yeah, clearance had the early run of the Killarney Vale had the early run of the clearances, so Cardiff will look to try and get first use of the footy this second quarter.
Very interesting. So just about ready for a start here in the second term. Cardiff will be going to the right. Pretty much a perfect day for footy. Doesn't look to be a breeze favouring either end. And the ground looks in pretty good condition in terms of its surface as well, Mick. So
Beautiful ground, this one.
absolutely. Hopefully they can start using the corridor a little bit more. Certainly a quicker way home. Well rucked down there by Bo. Went straight to White, though, for the Bombers. Sheldon here. Off to, I think it was O'Neill, and away go the Hawks forward. They've been pretty good through hands already. Well shepherded out there and ends up marked by...
Your man, Brendan Lewis.
That's him, Lewis. What a great start he had to the match. He's going to just switch it across goal here to...
Justin Daly.
So this is Daly here, the late inclusion for the Bombers. Kicks it out to half-back. Going there for Zara. Couldn't take the grab. It's well done there to Adlington. Little handball back inside. They overuse it a little bit there. Cardiff again. Koshin, though, ducks the head. Left-handed handball. Eventually ends up with Barrett, who goes with the left foot banana. Very left-sided player is Barrett. Bounces around now. It eventually gets to Gordon. So Haig now. Pretty reliable footballer Haig. Great kick into Adlington in the middle of the ground. This is where I like to see them play at Cardiff. They're going to go long. Who's his option? It's all Bombers. Pretty poor kick on that occasion. And a good grab there taken by Edwards. So Edwards got it at fullback for the Bombers. He's going to go up the middle of the ground as well. This game is starting to open up a little bit. Zara, he's going to come out to centre wing. It's a 2-on-1 in favour of the Hawks. Well done there to Haig. Over the back is the goal kicker in Gibson. Gives it back to Sheldon, a couple of the old heads, and he goes further forward once again looking for Ryan, but a poor kick there playing on Rumpler. Good pace from Stewart. Just runs past Rumpler. Drop punt pass on the way. It's a good one. Doing well. Can't see the player there for the Hawks. It's O'Neill. And the umpire will have it. It will be Darryl Luck who will ball it up half-forward flank. Deep half-forward flank for the Hawks. Well, good lead there from O'Neill. Just had to get the hands out in front. And it was good pace shown by the veteran in Stewart. Just on his own down there is Debnam. Punched it.
Beautiful ruck work there.
Yeah. Back to Adlington of the wrong team. Gibson eventually gathers. He's being chased here by Blackwood. Just had the composure then to pass into the middle to Hillier. So Hillier, the goal kicker. Handballs over to Haig, who's a left footer. Has a shot at goal. Sizes them up. Misses to the left.
Much better looking footy there. Centre it up, go straight direct to goals, and almost had a goal out of it there.
Yeah, it was good play. Using it well through hands. Probably overdoing it on a few occasions. I mean, unless you're, really skillful, you don't want to be missing handballs, basically, in crucial parts of the ground. So that's Murphy over there. Kicked a great goal in the first term. On hands and knees also, is it Mumford over there, Mick?
Yes.
He gets it now below his ankles and does really well, does Mumford. So just runs through centre wing and kicks it up in the air. It's all Cardiff, though. Getting there first will be Mayo for the Hawks. Also back there is Sinclair. Just handball to himself. Was he held on for too long? He was. Free kick to the Bombers for a hold on Sinclair. I think it may have been there.
Well worked, Sean Sinclair there. Just
Very
tapped it
well
ahead,
played.
drew the free kick.
Exactly what he did. He drew that free kick. He had no one to really give it to. Elected to handball to himself and was held on for just a little bit too long by, might have been Vukovic. So Sinclair here will go and kick to give Killarney Vale back the lead. So Sinclair, only about 25 metres out. Drop punt kicks on its way. Misses that one to the right, the near side.
Need to take these opportunities, both teams.
Poor
here.
kicking.
Maybe there is a bit of wind out there, Ron. We just can't feel it in the stands.
Well, I don't know. He just stabbed at it.
Yeah, he only took about 3 or 4 steps then, didn't
very close to the man on the mark. Kicked it straight up in the air. It was a bit of a sandwich. So Sheldon doing the kicking in duties once again. He went for the ruckman in Bow. Also there is Vukovic and also there is Stewart for the Hawks. Another boundary throw. We've probably seen half a dozen out on that side already. Bo doing all the ruck work at the moment for Cardiff. He's following the footy around. Just having a look to see if I can find Lenson. He's over there as well, I believe.
It looked as though young Patrick Murphy went up there, third man up, trying to get the ball forward there.
A lot of late changes for the Bombers. Well, not late changes as such, but changes from last week's loss to Terrigal-Avoca. Seem to be functioning pretty well, though. So White, good little kick there. Just missed the target, though. It eventually ends up with Debnam. Fell over at the opportune time, but just sold that candy. Now he gets onto the right foot. Gee, that's a good kick at goal as well. Terrific goal, Killarney Vale. Debnam went to ground. Had enough time to get back on his feet. I'm going to say goal of the day, Mick.
Yeah, I'll claim that one as goal of the day straight up. Lost his footing there and regathered himself, sold a bit of candy and drilled it home from about 45 there.
Was he the candy man or was it Zara?
Zara's the candy man, but Debman's giving him a run for his money here.
Good stuff. So that goal there brought to you by GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the past 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. GE Industrial are also the major sponsor of the Women's League. So back in the middle we go again. Oh, well done there, Zara. Sensational play. Handballs over to Debnam, and he just handballs to himself. He's got a bit of confidence, Debnam, after the last goal. McVeigh showed a bit of pace on his left side now. Kicks it back into the hot spot. It's a clever kick from McVeigh. Just did the old leg spin.
Was it a hand pass to himself or a hand pass to McVeigh there? I'm not sure.
Who knows? We'll give him credit and say it was to McVeigh. So interesting here to have a look at the Killarney Vale zone. So they are doing the half-ground zone by the look of it, all the way back to Brendan Lewis in the middle of the ground. Cardiff here lining up all out pretty much on the one flank. So they're keeping it pretty simple here, the Hawks.
They got one out the back here.
Yeah, it's Bow. So they're going to go for Bow or Metcalf, and Metcalf's a reliable footballer. He takes the grab. And away they go, the Hawks through centre wing now. The kick, though, isn't a good one. This is what's hurt them. on so many occasions already today. It's down there is Chapman. Was he being held? No, it was the Bombers player who was being held. And Justin Daly is going to concede 30 metres and go back to his skipper in Lewis. Lewis switches play, goes over to Mumford, who's working that wing pretty well. He'll have a bounce through centre half back. What do they do here? Do they keep using it out that far side? That's a good kick though for McVeigh. He'll always grab that. Ambitious handball into Edwards. No, it's not McVeigh, beg your pardon, it's Daniel Lloyd. So he goes to centre half forward. That's McVeigh. Probably dived at the opportune time. All numbers here for the Hawks. So they're going to elect to switch play here. This has to be a good kick for Jolliffe. It's not. It'll go out of play.
I think they needed to straighten up a bit quicker there rather than get caught out in the fat side again.
Yeah, they probably did the right thing with the switch, but I totally agree with that. They got it to centre half forward, I guess, in the end, but probably could have been a little bit more direct. So another boundary throw in here. Maddock doing the ruck work. Down there, Zara, who's been super busy. Snaps it with his left foot. Kicks a goal there to Zara. He's second for the day. Killarney Vale get another one.
Roves the pack well, Rob Zara. Had a shot at goal there and took it. He's very good with his hands out of the pack. Very clean.
Yeah, great goal there. He's been pretty active in his second term already. And I believe that's actually... No, it's not back-to-back goals. It was Debenham who kicked the last one. But it's a 33-26 lead here for Killarney Vale. They've had all the scoring in the second term. Can Cardiff respond in front of their home fans? The big maroon tents out today for the Old Boys Day, celebrating the 10-year anniversary of their premiership win over Killarney Vale. Need the next goal. So away they go. Bo, he's won most of the ruck taps today. Follows up his own work, does pretty well. Eventually ends up with Edwards, I think it is. Going in hard there might have been Stewart maybe, or could have been Bo again. But it will be another ball up here in the middle of the ground. Lenson bends over, tackled by Chapman. Good tackling pressure. You can hear Dugan down there on the bench barking orders. Doesn't want this game to slip away from them. This saw it happen against Newcastle City. They need to stay in the game until at least the last term. Here's Ryan, just bowls everybody. It'll be the backman there in Daly, who's been pretty active in the second term, the late inclusion. Hillier might get there first for the Hawks. He does. Handball's back to Gordon. Now gets on his right side, kicks it back into the hot spot. Well worked under it. Well done, Rumpler, but just dropped the mark. Ryan, handball back to Koshin. Right foot snap, goal to Cardiff. It was good work down there to Rumpler, but he ended up dropping the mark at the crucial time. The handball came back to the skipper. And Nick Koshin kicks his first for the day. Cardiff there, getting the margin back to 1 point.
The Entertainment Grounds, Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds has quickly established itself as the premier events location on the Central Coast. The Entertainment Grounds is an indoor and outdoor multi-purpose community facility for functions, events, festivals, weddings, exhibitions, as well as horse racing.
Yeah, exactly right. They recently won an award, the Entertainment Grounds, I believe, for being the best in their field. So well done to them. Another great sponsor to get on board. So Zara, who's had a great quarter now in the middle, but it's well done there to Cardiff, who kicked the last goal. Being held there was Zara. Clever football. He'll get a free kick right in the middle of the ground there. It was Gibson who tackled for too long. So on the left foot, just chips it into Walford. Couldn't take the grab. Spriggs fumbled. Eventually ends up in the hands of Jolliffe, and away go the Hawks. A little chip pass over the top. Now it's with Hillier. Beg your pardon, it's Chapman. Chapman in the middle of the ground. He's going to go for Ryan. Why wouldn't you? He's got strong hands. Does he get there in time? He does. Good pace. Good pace from Ryan.
Showing a bit of toe there, Mick Ryan.
He did. He wanted the footy, didn't he?
You want the footy, get the footy.
Yeah, exactly right. No one really leading for him. Now the Bombers have dropped back. He's probably got to have a ping. So Ryan. Bork to pass it off. It's not going to make the distance. It'll go to the top of the goal square. Barrett's there. It actually hits his head. Kick goes straight up in the air. Is it a goal, though? Does it get over the line? Punched over the line by White.
It was a huge Gary Owen there.
So behind. 33 apiece here at number 1. Good stuff there. I think it might have been Edwards. Nope, it was in the 29. Martin for Killarney Vale. This is Daniel Lloyd. He's 60 metres from goal. He's going to kick it to the hot spot. Right into the goal square. Bounces, hits the behind post. It'll be a boundary throw in deep. That's probably a slight victory. No, it'll be a boundary throw in. The Cardiff player thinks he can play on. Maddock. So 11 and a half minutes gone here. 33 apiece. Good game of footy here at number 1. We knew it would be. Pretty evenly matched on paper, these two sides. And Sinclair there doing the ruck as well as Stewart for the Hawks. Lloyd gets onto his right foot, snaps it around the body. Won't register a goal. It will register a point though. Killarney Vale now the lead by that. So Metcalf. Chips it in there for Haig. Goes further once again and maybe Stewart. So on centre wing. That's the kick that's hurt probably both sides a little bit today. That one goes out on the full, so just a poor skill error there, Mick.
Yes, hopefully it doesn't hurt him too much, Cardiff, but I reckon Cardiff actually looking the better team at the moment.
So I believe that's Mumford. Maybe not. Doing the kicking in duties there on centre wing. Was White held? No. Play on the call. A little bit of tunnel ball. McVeigh lays a tackle. Another ball up. Really important this next goal. Feel like it'll be pretty even at half time and the third quarter going to be oh so important. No team really gaining any ascendancy in terms of territory at this particular stage. Good tackling pressure there. Another ball up, Mick.
Yeah, it seems to be just going from pack to pack here at the moment. Like to see someone just grab it, put it on the boot and get it forward.
Yeah, pretty defensive game so far. Koshin there with the left-handed tap. Ends up with Mumford. Umpire's found a free kick there, I believe. And it will go the way of... No?
I think we've got another throw-in, Ryan.
Another throw-in.
They're just getting clogged out in that far wing there.
Well, it always happens on that far wing. Why can't they do it in front of us so we can make a few more decisive calls? That's my complaint. And anyway, I know that was Stewart. He did the ruck work. Good fly there by Ryan. Just broke the tackle, kicked it straight up in the air. Barrett should probably mark this one. Couldn't take the chest mark, going back with the flight. On the bottom of that one's O'Neill. Down there again is Ryan, following up his own work. Did pretty well there. Strong tackle there laid by the Killarney Vale player, but Cardiff will go forward once more to centre half forward. Probably could have taken a grab there, Lenson. The Hawks will do well here, and I think that might have been through Hillier. It was, the goal kicker. Straight up in the air again. There's been a few of those of late. Ball bounces. Vukovic up against Lewis. Vukovic up forward now for the Hawks. In there's Adlington. Walford lays a tackle. That's a fair tackle, I believe, under the new interpretation. Vukovic does well, just throws it on the left boot, but Rumpler's back there. He'll take a chest mark, centre half back for the Bombers. He's got Edwards across goal if he wants him. If he wants to open up the play out this side, he doesn't. He goes out to that far wing again. We're getting punished, Mick and myself. It'll come straight back in, though, for the Hawks. He's going to go for Ryan, who's been super active in the second term. He took a grab there not long ago. This time he wheels around quickly. He'll go for Jolliffe up against Edwards. Well done, Edwards. Good punch over the top. Out of play. Well played there, Brad Edwards, Mick.
Very well, yeah. I read the play well there. Came across, got the big duke out and put it over the boundary.
So boundary throw in this time. It'll be deep forward for the Hawks. Rumpler. He had it a fair while. Did he get rid of it? He did. White with the left-footed scrubby kick. It was dropped there out on that far wing by Stewart. And now Mumford with the footy. So he'll handball back to Lloyd, who's a long way from home. He's a reliable user of the footy and gets it back here, Daniel Lloyd. He'll probably kick long. He does. It's a one-on-one here. The bounce probably favours a Killarney Vale player there, but he's getting tackled and it eventually ends up with Mayo. And now back with Maddox. So a little left foot underground kick. It's pretty well worked though. Gordon tried to break a tackle and did. Little scrubby kick. Is that holding the footy? No, it's going to be in the back. So free kick now will go to the Hawks out on that far wing.
Spriggsy, Dustin Spriggs.
That is Spriggs in the 6. Good jump over the top there by Barrett. Couldn't take the mark. So Ryan, he'll be on his left side. Got absolutely no one to kick to. They have to run the footy here, Adlington. He's going to double back and come back inside. That was really his only option. Just kicks to nobody. He was under a bit of pressure, but that kick just wasn't the one he had to do. And Brad Edwards takes a chest mark at fullback. Just kicks it straight up in the air. Going back with the flight is Adlington. Oh, but it's a good grab there taken by Stewart.
Bit of a poor kick there.
Yeah, just a nothing kick off one step. Switches playing for Haig, and Haig marks. He'll kick it from 50 metres though with his left foot. He's a pretty good kick of the footy, Haig. Very good 2015 also.
Yeah, I quite like Haig. He's a quality player, and he's very tough when I played on him previously.
Yeah, super consistent as well. Really backs himself. So giving all the impressions here, he's going to have a shot at goal. Takes his full 30 seconds. Now he walks in. Hits that one pretty well. It's going to fall just short. Play on will be the call. It didn't go over the line. Run play. He was tackled. He dropped it. Did he take them on? No. Play on was the call. Eventually comes back to Hillier. Now Koshin. Great handball. Koshin will kick a goal. He does. Cardiff up and about. They hit the front once more.
Second goal there by Nick Cosin, the skipper.
Great stuff there to Koshin.
Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. They are also proud supporters of the Black Diamond AFL.
Great handball. I think it came from Hillier on that occasion. Went over to Koshin, had an open goal, and it was terrific play. So it's 39 playing 34. A 5-point lead. We're nearly into time on here in the second term. You feel like Killarney Vale have probably had more of the footy, but Cardiff going forward have, I suppose, taken a few more opportunities.
That's it. Killarney have just butchered the ball a little bit around the halfback flank, and Cardiff have made them pay.
Certainly a pretty even game. Daniel Lloyd's in the middle of the ground now. Just chips that one forward. Not playing in front was White, but he did well to make a contest, and he's going at it like a bull, Rick White. He'll get there first. He's about 70 metres out, though. Handball's back to Mumford, I think it was, eventually with Spriggs. And away go the Hawks again through Sheldon. So Sheldon on the left side. He's going to go out further wide again. And that's Jeremy O'Brien, I believe, in the 29. So with the right foot chip pass, he goes to, which might be Chapman. That's just a poor kick, though, and Zara just chops it off. Might have been Hillier. Now the left foot pass. He's going to go for Lewis, and another poor kick. So Haig will play on. He's got a paddock in front of him, Sam Haig. Chips it in though, terrific pass. Great football, Cardiff. And terrific play specifically there from Sam Haig. Lowered the ice, could have had a shot and blazed away. Decided to give it to Ryan, and Ryan now to give Cardiff a little bit of a buffer, Mick.
Yeah, it was a great pass that by Sammy, and Mick Ryan should put this straight through.
So got a good view of this one. The number 8, the champion for Cardiff. Right foot drop punt as he missed it to the left. He has, gee, that's costly. Just once again stabbed at it a little bit, tried to steer it through. Bit of the Travis Cloakes about that kick.
Just a little bit there, and I'm sure Mick will learn from it, and he won't make any mistake with the next one.
So the Bombers here, that's probably a little bit lucky there. Eventually ends up with Sinclair. Kicks for, he's going for Shackleton. Down there playing on Chapman. Doing well, Shackleton to get there first. Now he has a look up, has a look at his forwards. Who's leading for him? White. White playing out a full forward. Good play there from the back line by the Bombers. And from one end of the ground where it looked like Cardiff would be putting a little bit of scoreboard pressure on. Now an opportunity for the Bombers to do the same. So White, what a great footballer he is. Just has to kick through this one. He does. Beautiful left foot kick. Claps himself. Great play, White. Goal to Killarney Vale.
They needed that, Killarney. They were starting to get on the back foot there by Cardiff, and a bit of a leveler there.
So back to 40 apiece.
Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel, and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years.
Yep, they'll be providing some of the silverware for the Elliot Davey presentation night.
If you ever go into Waratah Sports, ask for Wayne Ashworth and ask him to tell you a story about a stretcher.
Okay, good stuff. Beg your pardon, Waratah Sports, they specialise in sportswear, not trophies. I'm getting my sponsors mixed up. McVeigh, now in the middle of the ground, takes possession there. No prior opportunity, it'll be another ball up. Seen a lot of stoppages today. Regan Bowe's done pretty well in the ruck for the Hawks. He's probably one of the majority of the taps. Not on that occasion, it was Sinclair, and he's going to get a free kick, I think, for over the shoulder. So Sinclair has it in the middle of the ground here for the Bombers. Just blast the ball forward to full forward. White, he's got a 2-on-1. Does he take a grab? He doesn't, but he follows up his own work. Gives a little handball off. It's good play Ball will go out of play, however. So 40 apiece. You couldn't ask for it to be a better game of footy at this stage in terms of the score, Mick.
No, I totally agree. I reckon the most would have expected Killarney Vale to kick away, but just shows Cardiff are a quality team and their one win isn't a true representation of them.
Yeah, exactly, and some good players there getting the footy, so we certainly know they got some talent as it went through Sheldon and Gibson's hands. And it's really well worked here. They've got a lot of run going on, but once again, that kick into the forward line, just to no one in particular, was way too easy there for Edwards. And Killarney Vale are going to get this out of fullback and go and do it through Daniel Lloyd. So Daniel Lloyd now playing a midfield role as White goes forward, the goal kicker. Walford, he's had plenty of it. Off one step again. Does it have the penetration, that kick? It doesn't really, but it ends up fortuitously for Martin. He just backs his pace, does really well, does Martin. Does he have a shot at goal? He doesn't. He lowers his eyes, goes to White. Couldn't take the grab. It was well done back there to the Killarney Vale backman. Ends up with White again. Left foot snap kick. He's got it. Great goal to Killarney Vale. Great build up. And their bench is up and about.
It's not often you see Tim Sheldon get beaten one-on-one there and be dirty on himself there, but another good goal. Good snap by Rick White.
Yeah, good move to put him forward. Daniel Lloyd doing a little bit of the midfield work. Bit of coaching genius there from Pigeon.
Makua Coindo Waters Golf and Spa Resort on the Central Coast. Relax or play and stay.
Great facilities there, Coindo Waters. Terrific front nine. I've mentioned it a few times.
High quality golf course, that one.
Yeah, very much enjoy it.
Very demanding.
Yep, spot on. Plenty of water. Great place to stay. So back in the middle again. Killarney Vale now out to a 6-point lead. Little tap over the top. McVeigh onto his left side. Beautiful user of the footy. He'll go forward. Half volley kick there for Shackleton. Getting there first might be Metcalf, I believe. Chip pass to Haig, who's been pretty active in the second term. Just dropped the mark he should have taken. Has enough time to handball. Ends up with Stewart. He's going to try and beat a tackler here. It was pretty good play from Stewart, but Haig fell over. Was he taken high? He was. Free kick there to Sam Haig.
Good call there.
Soppy play from Debnam. Cardiff players wanting 50 metres there. Daniel Lloyd handballed it after the free kick was paid. But Haig. Little chip pass into Gibson. He's going to play on. Handball over the top here to O'Neill. Play out on this swing this time. He's kicked it to a 2-on-1. Ryan does well to force a spoil on that occasion. Going back was Rumpler. Handball inside. Both teams dropping a player behind the ball. He dropped the footy on that occasion. Holding the ball. Good decision. It'll be Adlington. So Jason Adlington there. Good tackle on Forster. And he'll have an opportunity to level up the scores again, Mick.
Yeah, Mick Forster just needed to be a little bit quicker there with his hands, a bit indecisive, and he's paid the price.
So both teams have dropped that player back. Certainly more visual for Killarney Vale. They've probably done it a little bit better in terms of that loose man reading the play and forcing a few more spoils. Big kick here for Adlington leading into half-time. So he goes back, strikes it really well, does Adlington. Misses to the left. Didn't that look like it was going through?
There is a bit of a breeze down there, Ryan.
Right to left, isn't there?
Very much so.
Not swinging like it was at...
Not like Mitchell Johnson at the moment.
I was going to say, the English bowlers. So Lloyd in the back pocket for the Bombers. Have they got enough time for another score? 25 minutes played here at number one. That kick misses its intended target, but it bounces over the Cardiff players as well. Little chip pass. Now it's O'Neill. Just an inside-out mongrel looking torp, and you can hear Dugan. He had a couple more seconds to decide there what he was going to do. Bit of perceived pressure.
He had more time than he had much more time than he thought then, and he could have hit a target easily there.
Yep, so Edwards just straight out the middle of the ground now with Barrett. They got plenty of time. They're going to work it through hands. Zara already kicked a goal this quarter. Goes back again. Now the left foot kick came from in the 12.
Young Harry Cunningham.
Harry Cunningham in the 12. But the kick was to no avail. It was just marked at full back a little too easily. Brendan Lewis did well. He's reliable. Those sticky hands. He was held maybe a little bit too long. So Lewis
just needs to get it in line, get it top of the square.
Takes his full time. Now a little chip pass. It's a good kick from Lewis.
Maybe 50 there?
It was probably as he marked there, Barrett.
That might have been my bias hat.
Yeah. So Ryan Barrett will go back. He's been pretty active as well in this game so far. He's had a good game.
Yeah, he's starting to find his way in this game, very much so. He's we picked him up this year from East Coast down in the Sydney comp.
Right.
Played a couple of years in the NEFL, and I've been told that he was best on ground on a cruise one night.
Oh, there you go. Good story there. Love it. It's for an 11-point lead. Barrett goes straight back. Gee, it's been some poor kicking at goal today. That one misses to the right-hand side. And it's back to that straight kick lead for Killarney Vale. Well into time on here, second term. Been another even quarter. Both sides not really taking their opportunities in front of goal. And Sheldon doing the kicking in. So this time the majority of players go out to the left-hand side of the ground. He's just going to chip it up there. Yeah, that's not a great kick again, but making it look good was Gibson. So Gibson now through centre half back. Down at the bootlaces out there. That wasn't a great kick either. Killarney Vale might end up with this, and it'll be Mark McVeigh. So just beats a tackle too easy. Little handball inside was to Zara, I believe. Handball off to Daniel Lloyd. He's going to get again tackled. Play on was the call. It was lost in the tackle, and away go the Hawks through fullback. They've been pretty good in this part of the ground, and so's this man, Haig. Just gets it on the left foot now. Well cut off. Well read there from Brendan Lewis. Switches play back into the middle. Just goes like a shotgun. Now Barrett. He missed a kick just a few seconds ago. Loads that one up, and once again misses to the right.
And a lot of points being scored here. You know, one of the teams need to start kicking between the big sticks. That's where the most points are.
That's correct.
Scored.
We need to tell them that, I think, Mick.
Need to learn how to speak.
Been trying that all year. So Sheldon, you'll do the kicking in duties. It's going to be an uncontested mark out there to Stewart. Pretty stagnant though. There's no real leads with authority coming from the Hawks, so they have to run it out again. Maddock. That'll be half time though at Newcastle number 1. After 27 minutes of play there in the second quarter, it's Killarney Vale 48. They have a 7-point lead over Cardiff 41. The goal kickers, please, Mick.
The goal kickers from Cardiff, 2 goals to Nick Cosen, 1 goal to Benny Stewart, Max Hillier, Hugh O'Neill and Liam Gibson. For Killarney Vale, 2 goals each for Rick White and Rob Zara. And also 1 goal for Patrick Murphy, Daniel Lloyd and Trent Debnam.
Really good game of footy here at number 1. Anyone's game still at this stage. We'll be back with second half action shortly.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service.
Command, this is Car 33. I'm going on my break.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Welcome back, number one sports ground. It's half-time here. Killarney Vale 50, leading Cardiff 42. After what was a very evenly contested first half of footy. Joining me still is Mick Smith. What do you think about your Bombers there in the first half?
They're performing okay, I would say. They just need to make the most of their possessions and treat them like gold and get the ball into the forward 50 as quick as possible.
Yeah, exactly right. They didn't look too bad, but I thought skill errors, even from some of their better players from both sides, certainly let down both teams. A lot of out in the fulls there, out in that far wing. I actually walked out there at half-time, and the breeze is favouring the left-hand side of screen. Probably a 3 or 4 goal breeze. It is a lot stronger than you think, standing up here. So certainly favouring the Hawks end, which would be the left-hand side. So you can see in the middle there, McVeigh, Lloyd, and I think Zara for the Bombers, with Lenson doing the ruck work. So they've certainly got their big guns in there. Rick White will be playing out a full forward. Once again, Bo wins the tap, as he did for much of the first half, and McVeigh ends up getting the clearance kick down towards Debnam. Getting there first will be Chapman, but it was well done there to Walford. Now eventually Sinclair. So Sinclair was tackled as he kicked. It was pretty well done. So Mayo now for the Hawks. Little handball off to Adlington. Handball back inside, and away go the Hawks through the middle of the ground. They didn't do this too often in the first half. They might be out here eventually through O'Neill. Back to O'Neill. He's going to drive them forward to the hot spot, looking for Mick Ryan, but it's well done. Brendan Lewis, for me, was probably the best player on the ground in the first half.
Yeah, totally agree there, Ryan. He's just racked up 20-odd possessions there in the back.
Yeah, Barrett was pretty good also, this man with the footy. So now Barrett comes out to our broadcast wing. Well worked there by Sinclair. Didn't mark the footy in the end. Eventually Mayo gathers the footy and a little handball inside to Haig, who had another good opening term. That's a great kick as well into the hot spot. And dropping the mark there was Ryan. Still going back for the Bombers, and it was a rush behind eventually. No pressure, saying some of the Cardiff fans. Eventually Lewis kicks it in to Daniel Lloyd. So now Lloyd goes to centre wing, and that is just a bullet pass out there to Debnam.
He's got to move it on quick here, but...
So Debnam now goes to the middle of the ground. That's the kick that's hurt them. Another untidy kick, and Sheldon was good enough to mop it up. Spriggs back to Sheldon now on his left foot, and that's not a great kick either, but it was good enough to reach Stewart, and they've just got plenty of room to run here, the Hawks. Once again, they've got that loose man back here, the Bombers, and eventually ends up with Edwards. He gives a little handball inside. Don't overuse it too much back here. They end up dropping it. Barrett goes off the ground further for Lloyd. He's going to switch it up. Risky kick, but a good one. Got to Edwards. So Brad Edwards, he's going to kick it to, I think it was intended for Sinclair, who fell over. Getting there first is Haig, though. He plays for the Hawks, and he goes for Ryan. He's a beautiful left foot kick of the footy is Sam Haig. So Mick Ryan, they'd love the first goal here. That'll get them back to a 1-point margin. This would be, with this breeze, probably one of the hardest kicks on the ground. Just chips it inside. And Stewart, who's a known goal kicker and a known good kicker of the footy in general, Mick.
Very good kick, Benny Stewart. Yeah, shouldn't have a problem with the distance here, especially with a bit of a wind behind him.
Absolutely. You'd think he'd go the distance. So the 207-game veteran runs in, plenty of momentum behind it. It's a lovely drop punt kick of the footy. The Hawks are up and about. It's their old boys' day, the 10-year anniversary. Stewart kicks his second goal and the first for the second half.
Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider, delivering a wide range of services to a diverse range of customers. For all your security needs, call Wilson Security on 1300 Wilson.
Really good game of footy, this one. Great stuff there to Stewart. Lovely kick of the ball. Just rode up on the breeze.
As you've seen there, Ryan, you hit your targets, you're more likely to kick goals, aren't you?
Absolutely right. So away we go again in the middle. Getting first hands on it was Stewart again. Just kicks it up in the air towards centre half forward. The ball will bounce before it gets to anybody in particular. Well done there to Rumpler. He elected to handball off to his skipper in Lewis, who's a very reliable kick of the footy, and he is again on this occasion. Taking the mark down there is Justin Daly. So Daly on the half-back flank here for the Bombers. Kicks it to a 2-on-1. Sheldon comes over the top. Does really well, Timmy Sheldon. Gets tackled over the line. Boundary throw in on our broadcast side there. Walford's been good as well for the Bombers.
Yeah, he's starting to find his feet, starting to gel with the other players in the team now. He's played about 8 or 9 games for the year and looking good.
It's a boundary throw in. Adlington elects to handball. See, to me that could have been a kick. He just could have got it out of the congestion. Eventually Chapman just burns his opponent in Daly down there for pace, and a good grab there taken, slips catch it was, by Koshin. And this is the exact spot, almost to the centimetre, where Benny Stewart kicked his last goal. So it will hold its line, this kick. You've probably just got to start it at the right goal post and watch it come back with the breeze. So the skipper in Cochin, he's already kicked a couple. That one, he just starts way too far to the left, and it will register one behind. So scores once again level, 50 apiece.
Dominating early here, Cardiff, and they really would have liked a goal there, get a bit more of a lead.
Yeah, absolutely. They've probably trailed for most of the game, but it's been pretty close the whole way. So Lloyd just kicks it out to centre wing. He's looking for Walford. Out there also is Metcalf. It'll beat them both. It'll be a boundary throw-in, which is probably not a bad result for the Bombers. They can reset now and try and get their attacking stocks happening. As we see Rick White, he's parked on his own at full forward. Metcalf now comes back to meet him.
Yeah, I think Rick may have twinged a hammy.
Not good news. They need him certainly if they're going to go deep in finals. Lloyd eventually gives it back to, I think it might be Mumford out there. A lot of the players falling over. Now with Walford on his left side. Just kicks it back in the middle of the ground. He's looking for Murphy. Kicked a great goal in the first quarter, did Murphy. Down there's Mark McVeigh, who's very clean. Don't argue with McVeigh. Handballs it to no one in particular. Adlington, who's had a few kicks in the third term. Little handball over the top to Chapman. Over there out of Cochin. Getting there is Haig, who's... Oh, good tackle though by Barrett. He usually breaks those tackles, does Haig. Down there is Daly, who does pretty well. Play on is the call. Tackled by Sinclair. Did he have it? Umpire might have this. He does. It'll be a ball up here. Centre half forward for the Hawks, who have all the momentum, Mick, at the moment.
Very much so. They've had 5 inside 50s already this first quarter, and hopefully for them they can kick a goal here.
So Bo, he was uncontested. Now with Adlington. Was it touched off the boot? I'm not sure it was. Misses to the left though regardless. And a 1-point lead there to the Hawks. We've played 6 minutes. They've had all the scoring in the third term. Lewis again, Mr. Reliable. This time goes for Lenson. And that's a good pass from the ruckman to Walford, who's been really active. Not a great kick on that occasion, just to no one really. Stewart's been good as well. Chip pass over the top, and they've got it at half forward here, the Hawks. Next kick's important. They're going to go for Cochin, but it's not a great kick. Ryan Barrett just dropping back, taking a pretty easy uncontested mark. He's going to switch play once again and go for Debnam. Beg your pardon. Yeah, it is Debnam. That kick, you know...
Bit of a 50-50 kick, that one. Really needs to hit the target.
I suppose it forces the draw and they get a chance to reset, but...
Very lucky for the Bombers there to get a throw-in.
Both sides been pretty messy coming out of half-back today. So boundary throw-in. Bennett there. Also in there is Lloyd. Getting first possession is Adlington. Left-handed handball. It's tight and it's tough. Spriggs is there. Was that one touched? It was. Lewis had to play on. Brendan Lewis ended up running out of play. Whether he meant that or not, I'm not sure, but it would be a boundary throw-in.
A little bit bemused there, young Brendan Lewis.
Looked in, didn't it? Goes over the head there of Hillier. Stewart. Now Gibson just throws it on the right boot, but it's all red and black here. And it'll be Brendan Lewis to chip the ball out of play. He'll kick it to Blackwood. It's a great kick there to Darren Blackwood. Gee, it helps when you've got good kicks in your side, the Lloyds and the Lewises of Killarney Vale.
Very much so. Makes it a lot easier.
Yep. That's not a great kick. Just sits it straight up in the air, and Hay took an easy mark. Goes back to Sheldon, who he likes using his left foot. Just kicks it to half forward. Jumping over the top there was Chapman. Eventually ends up with Hillier. But Blackwood chops it off there for the Bombers. Now Lenser just handballing it. They're overusing it a little bit. This guy's super reliable. We know that. Brendan Lewis, the general, kicks it out towards our broadcast wing, taking a grab, and it's a good mark. Taken by Patrick Murphy in the 14. They've got a wall set up though, Sheldon, for the Hawks. Well read.
You can't just kick the 4-on-1 there.
Yeah,
just
well read,
butchering
Cashew, Sheldon. The midfielders had to run forward there. Well, they had to chip it. They had to look a little bit more lateral there, the Bombers. Not a great kick though. Hagel have enough time to settle.
Finding plenty of ball, Sammy.
It is going to be a downfield free kick. He was hit after he kicked it there by Sinclair. The players having a little bit to say about it from both sides. Gibson from the Hawks. And trying to look who the recipient will be. Looks like it might be Ryan. So a reliable kick of the footy here. So Mick Ryan, yet to hit the scoreboard today, is he, Mick?
Yes, very surprising for Mick Ryan.
He might have kicked a couple of points, I think, but yet to kick a goal. So this is important. Needs to start at that right goal post. Starts it way too far left.
Just not his day at the moment, Mick Ryan, with the boot.
That's a snap hook. So this time it'll be Barrett. Barrett's had a good game also. He goes out to half-back looking for Lenson. It was touched. He kept it in play. Lenson did really well. He's an athletic young ruckman. Kicks it into the middle of the ground into a dangerous position. Adlington let it bounce. Probably should have committed a bit more there. Jolliffe fumbled. I think that was Lewis or Mumford in there. Putting his head over it was Lloyd. Bombers just can't seem to get it past halfway at the moment. Cardiff have been great with their pressure in this third quarter. That's why they lead by 2 points.
Cardiff's pressure has been fantastic this quarter, and that's why they're dominating early.
Yeah, I think maybe on one occasion Killarney Vale have gone forward of centre. Koshin in there did the ruck work. He was up against Lloyd. Adlington's been active. Here's Mick Ryan. Not having a great day in front of goals. That's probably holding the footy there, and it will be. Good decision, Darryl Luck.
Question is, can Killarney Vale hit a target here? That's the big question at the moment.
Yeah, exactly right. They're marking up well. The defensive pressure here of Cardiff's been really good. Sinclair here. That's a good pass though. Just lowered his eyes. This is the important one. They're going to go for Lewis. He's pretty good in this situation, generally speaking. And how good was that by Brendan Lewis? And away they go here, the Bombers. This time through Martin. So Martin, little chip go over the top. Looks for White. Play on was the call. Down there is Debden. Throws it on the right boot. It won't make the distance. Jolliffe. Ran it over the line. That'll be a point. Sheldon will do the kicking in. So back to a 1 point margin. You feel like this game could go down to the wire. Sheldon goes out here for Gibson. Looking at it is Edwards. But just a veteran, strong mark. Read the ball beautifully. Some of the good players from both these sides starting to stand up. Well done to Brendan Lewis. Read that one really well. He's got 2 to beat here. Bo. And he beat him just with ease. So he screws it back on the right foot now. Looking for, might be Murphy it is. Back to Sinclair. Just throws it on his right boot. Needs this one to bounce. Walford runs hard, but it was well done there to Cardiff and eventually ends up with Gibson and now Stewart. So he kicks it to centre half forward, but it's just a little bit of a kick to kick at the moment because of the players dropping back. On that occasion, it was a good grab there taken by Ryan. So Mick Ryan probably wouldn't have that much confidence in front of goal at the moment. He just hasn't kicked the ball that well. Missed a lot of them to the left-hand side. I think this will be his third set shot from this spot, Mick, in this quarter.
Yeah, and he's got the confidence. He'll back himself in, Mick Ryan, every time.
So Ryan looks a better kick there, Ryan. He's learned from his mistakes. He has. Kicks the goal. Cardiff out to a 7-point lead. Their fans are up and about. First goal of the day there for Ryan. Cardiff in front.
Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week. Breakfast, lunch and dinner. Trading hours are 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Support local businesses. Subway, eat fresh.
Yep, the best on ground today win a $20 voucher to Subway Morisset. Owner and CEO Chris Bishop. Terry Galavoka, coach, having another good year as Bishy, the veteran.
Loves signing autographs, Chris Bishop, too.
He's
no problem with signing autographs and
photos.
photos.
Coach of the representative side. He'll schmooze the crowd. Back in the middle we go. McVeigh, they desperately needed clearance here, but it might have been in the back there and needed the back of the head, I think, of Mark McVeigh.
Bit lucky there, but we'll see how he goes from here.
He's a beautiful user of the footy. Who's going to lead for him this time? He's going to go for Rick White. Why wouldn't you? White there up against Metcalf. He's playing on probably one of the best players in the side there in Metcalf, though, White. And it's well done to Cardiff. Really like the way they're going about it here in this third term. The premiership quarter. They're stamping their authority for their second win of the season. They desperately need one. Boundary throw-in. Koshin up against Daniel Lloyd. Good battle this one. They force a draw. Eventually ends up, I think, with Chapman, and he just kicks it into the middle of the ground. Brendan Lewis only knows one way. He just kept his eyes on the foot. He did it really well. Blind turn. Handballed it back to Rumpler. He goes on his left foot further wide. That's a poor kick, though. And away go the Hawks here. This is an opportunity to score. Here goes Chapman. So Chapman kicks it into full forward. It's a one-on-one. Over the back. Was it a chop of the arms? It wasn't. On Adlington. And so Killarney Vale. So it's end-to-end footy here in the third term. Daniel Lloyd, he's running some Ks at the moment. Just a little chip pass there into Barrett. Barrett's had plenty of it. This is the next kick that's hurt them a little bit. Pretty even contest out there on centre wing. It comes to ground. Once again, Cardiff looked the better side. So Jolliffe, now he kicks it into full forward. Good punch over the top there. Came from the 25, which is Daly. And it'll be another boundary throwing Mick out on that far side. We're earning our bacon egg rolls today.
That's right. They love that far wing. Every team that comes here loves that far wing.
The centre square is a bit of a false centre square today because of the cricket pitch. It's a little skew-if. Favours more of that far wing. Well done to Cardiff, though. They've certainly been the better side in this third term, and they lead on the scoreboard. They have an 8-point lead, an important lead. Going in hard is Mark McVeigh. They need him to stand up. He's been pretty good. Little handball over the top. Zara took possession, or it could have been Debnam. There's Mayo. He just sells a little bit of candy there, Chad Mayo, and kicks it straight up in the air. Mark that, he says. No one can. Punch came over the top from Rumpler. Ends up with Koshin. Now he chips it over the top. It's a good kick, Koshin. Good grab by Adlington. And Jason Adlington, who started the day in the midfield, he's resting now at full forward, takes a strong overhead grab. And he's got a chance here to kick Cardiff 2.5 goals ahead, Mick.
Been very impressed with this Adlington. It's been quality. He's taken his grabs and he's hit quite a few targets as well.
Yeah, he's an inside midfielder. He's played most games this season. Sort of goes in and out of games, but when he gets the footy, he certainly knows what to do with it. So this is an important kick, this one. We've seen guys kick to this end and miss a lot of them, especially to that right-hand side. This time he kicks it beautifully, makes absolutely no mistake, Jason Adlington. He kicks his first for the day, and Cardiff continue on.
Looking good, Cardiff, and body language speaks a lot, and they may run away with this, Ryan.
Spot on, mate. In 2015, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights live and free. Prime 7 coverage includes 4 games every round on 7 Mate, including the marquee Friday and Saturday night matches. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team. They do have the breeze, though. I stood out there in half-time, and I think it is a 3-goal breeze favouring Cardiff. In saying that, Killarney Vale haven't even had their hands on the footy to kick it into the wind. So
at the moment, Killarney Vale just don't even look like they want the footy at the moment.
Yeah.
They're just getting out-pressured.
And especially ground level, like when it's, a marking contest, the ball goes to ground, it's Cardiff who seem to get there first just about every time.
They want the ball more than Killarney at the moment.
Yeah, so Sinclair doing the ruck work there for the Bombers. They need to get a clearance. He does well to follow up his own work and kicks to centre half forward. Cardiff players, it's going to be a free kick, hands in the back. Gee, they needed that one, the Bombers.
Yeah, they needed that big time. Kyle Walford here.
Gee, and into this breeze, I tell you, it'd be a good kick to carry the distance.
You'd want a few blokes in the goal square here.
Yeah, this is a much harder kick than it looks with that breeze down there. Hits it pretty well. Will it get the distance? I think it might. It's a great kick.
Wow.
Just reaches the fence. A terrific goal there from Walford. One they desperately needed. 1 inside 50 for the quarter. 1 goal to the Bombers.
The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. The Herald's reporting and commentary leads public debate in the region and its coverage of local issues. From businesses and politics through to sport and entertainment is second to none. The Newcastle Herald, the voice of the Hunter, in print, online and mobile. So 17 minutes played here, third term. Certainly the quarters belong to Cardiff, but a good goal there to Killarney Vale. They've only had the 1 inside 50 that we can remember. And we're good enough there to register a score. McVeigh went to ground, didn't get the free kick. Lloyd now breaks out of play, goes with the right foot. Mark was dropped there as a bit of a mongrel. Walford couldn't take it. Kyle Walters chases that one out of play there for the Hawks. So it'll be a boundary throw in, half-forward flank here for the Bombers. Another goal here would make it really interesting. And I think going with the wind, if Killarney Vale can be within probably 2 goals, I dare say you'd almost back them. It is hard to score goals towards the right of screen here today. So another boundary throw up. Another ball up. Down there is Lloyd. Throws it onto the right boot. Pretty even contest. Well done, Walford. Took a strong chest mark. Just read the drop of the ball beautifully there in front of Metcalf. Roughly in the same position as last time too, right?
You saw when he kicked it, it sat up in the air. It just had enough legs to get there.
Definitely got under it.
So, Walford, important kick this. This would get them back within 2 points. It rolls end over end and misses to the right on that occasion. So 65 playing 58. Sheldon will be doing the kicking in. Just about into time on. So really crucial part of the quarter, this one. Sheldon's going to go out to that far side again. Good grab there. Taken by Metcalf. Did he play on? He did. So Darrell Luck now calls play on. Might have been touched, actually. Oh, good grab there taken by Barrett. Certainly been one of the better players on the ground in my opinion. Barrett with that left foot chip pass. It's a good one. Hits, I think it's Daly out there. Justin Daly in the 25. So we see Walford coming off the ground. He looks a little bit proppy.
Yeah, I think he may have copped a cork in one of the marking
He'll be
contests.
important in the last quarter, that's for sure. This one goes into the hot spot. Mayo just elects to punch. He did pretty well. White will get there first for the Bombers. He fumbled. Comes back to Metcalf for Cardiff. Little handball off to Sheldon. Good user of the footy. Went out of bounds. Boundary throw in.
They'll be happy with that, Killarney. It looks like Cardiff are going to be out and away there.
Yeah, it's certainly a little victory there for the Bombers. So boundary throwing Koshin here, uncontested for the Hawks. Just tapped it into the hot spot though. Doing well was Mumford. Little chip over the top, didn't really kick through the footy. And away goes the speedster in Haig. Haig has a bounce, but doesn't really have a good bounce. He still gets it 60 metres out from their goal, and this is Mayo now. So he gets on his right foot. Has he kicked that one out on the full? He has. Needed a left foot on that occasion, or to at least straighten up a little bit more. Lewis plays on. He just can't do anything wrong, Brendan Lewis. Clever little kick inside. And hits Zara. So Zara on his left foot. Sells a little bit of that candy. The candy man, as Mick Smith calls him. Now goes into the hot spot. Rick White. Free kick. Who's it? Cardiff. Everyone holding their breath there. No, we couldn't really see it from up here who that was going to.
Yeah, it looked a bit up in the air there.
But it's, I think it was Jolliffe there. So Sheldon now has it. He always has his in that pocket and goes to his left foot. Mayo. Gibson tackled by Cunningham back there, but got the kick away. And then away go Cardiff. So Bo, the ruckman, he straightens up. Starts this one too far to the left.
It's unlucky that he's been really good today.
Yeah, I tell you, if there was a few better kicks at goal, Cardiff could be well in front. At this stage, they lead by 8 points. Into time on here, Mick.
Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports the Black Diamond AFL.
Good stuff, Star 104.5. Sinclair, I believe it is, doing the kicking in duties. He's going to go for the skipper in Brendan Lewis. He'll do well to mark that one, he won't. Once again, Mick Ryan, he could put a 50-cent coin from where how many kicks he's had from that part of the ground. And he kicked a goal from there, his last one. Have a shot, Ryan. He does. He starts it beautifully. It drifts back. Has it got the legs? It does. Cardiff are away. They're up and about.
And the old boys go off as they should.
They love it. It's the old boys' day, 10-year anniversary. That could just about be play of the day. But I give a little bit of a look there to Mick Smith as he's the one who's deciding that particular award. And now it's 72, playing 58. That's a 14-point lead to the Hawks. We're late into the third term, Mick.
There's a lovely goal by Mick Ryan there, and probably his player today there by Mick Ryan. The crowd loved it, and we loved it up here too.
Could get a gem and feed for that goal. And Cardiff up and about.
A bit of a feed too, Mick Ryan.
Good little tap there by Koshin. Killarney Vale have been absolutely smashed in the middle in this quarter. It's the only way to put it. The breeze certainly is playing a part, but also getting their hands on the footy. They've just been outclassed by the Hawks. McVeigh here, he's put his hand up. He's definitely tried in this term. But once again, as soon as he got his hands on it, the tackling pressure was great from those Cardiff midfielders.
Yeah, the tackling's been really good this quarter by Cardiff. Much better, and that's why they dominated the inside 50s and the clearances.
Sheldon there getting hands on it. He's in the midfield now, trying to break through with Zara. I've really liked his game. Goes past Jolliffe, kept his eye on the footy though, and it was well done to Chapman. So the handball over the top, just trying to gain a bit of territory. Daly may get there first for the Bombers. No, it'll be the Cardiff player. And they've got enough time now. This is Walters in the orange boots. It was partially smothered there by Daly. Does he get it back and the ball stay in? I think it does there down there. It might be O'Neill. And away go the Hawks again. So back to Koshin. He's going to kick it into full forward. Gibson there playing. Oh, strong mark. Liam Gibson. Chest mark. Just kept his eyes on the footy. He outclassed Blackwood there. And Liam Gibson, this will give them a 20-point lead going into three-quarter time. Massive kick. Gibson. Goal, Cardiff. 20-point lead here. Nearly 24 minutes played into the third quarter.
Second goal there by Liam Gibson. And a much needed one with a bit of a handy lead here, Cardiff.
Yep, BLK is the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, the Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. And the exclusive on-field apparel supplier to the Black Diamond AFL. BLK is beyond limits known. What a quarter it's been for the Hawks. They're kicking with the breeze, but they're also playing with authority in every part of the ground. The Bombers, can they respond? Need we remind you, Cardiff are 1 win, 12 losses in 2015. Killarney Vale have registered the 7 wins. But it stands for nothing, Mick.
That's right. It doesn't stand for much.
It goes back. I think that's Jeremy O'Brien in there. Also Rick White trying to assert himself as well. And there's Hillier. It's well done, though, to Daniel Lloyd, just trying to drive his team forward. It's a one-on-one here. Well done, Metcalf. Is he paid the mark? He has. Excellent work, Metcalf. They're doing it at both ends of the ground here, the Hawks. He chips across the ground and goes for Sheldon. Little chip pass as well. They're just controlling the footy beautifully. They're playing with confidence. Their tails are up. And they just kick it down the wing, looking for distance. The bounce will beat everybody. Ryan read it pretty well, but it's also well done to Daly. Back to, that might have been Brendan Lewis again. Drop the ball there. No prior opportunity. I think that's a good decision, though. Shackleton. Handball out. Now they go forward, the Bombers. They just look a little bit flat-footed, but they're good enough here to get their hands on it. They show a bit of pace. Now Rick White with that left foot kicks it into centre half forward. They're outnumbered a little bit here, the Bombers. They all fall over, though, the Hawks. And the Bombers just handballing it to no one there in particular. Just lacking a little bit of experience at centre half forward, but it's well done to Sinclair, who backs himself, breaks about 4 tackles, kicks it in 4. Well done, Sinclair.
Backed himself, Sean Sinclair, with his strength. And as we've been saying all day, Ron, you hit targets, you get shots and goals.
And it'll be Brad Edwards who'll have the shot at goal. It was good work to Sinclair. He stood up. He was the bigger body. Some of the smaller Killarney Vale players, the less experienced ones, just getting shown up a little bit there, but it was well done to Sinclair. So now Edwards, an important kick, this one. Right on the stroke at 3/4 time. Great goal, Killarney Vale. And what an important kick that was in the context of this game.
They needed that big time there. Stop the run of Cardiff. Belmont 16-footer sailing club, located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie. Belmont 16-footers is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. For all the latest news and promotions, visit 16s.com.au or find us on Facebook.
Good stuff. So 78 plays 64 here. That's a 14-point lead. Will that goal come back to haunt them, Cardiff? They've had all the footy, just a couple of missed tackles. He's being held, surely, McVeigh. Good decision, umpire. Free kick to Mark McVeigh.
It's an interesting one, that. He's let a few of those go today.
So McVeigh now drills the ball. He goes for Edwards, the goal kicker. Edwards takes clean possession, gets around, does pretty well there on that occasion. Gives it back to, might have been Murphy. Goes straight up in the air. Who takes a mark? 3/4 time. They hold off one last attack, Cardiff, and it was a quarter that belonged to them. So at 3/4 time, it's Cardiff 78. They lead by 14 points over Killarney Vale 64. The goal kickers, Mick.
Goal kickers for Cardiff with 2 goals each. Nick Cosen, Mick Ryan, Benny Stewart and Liam Gibson. Single goal kickers for Cardiff, Jason Adlington, Max Hillier, Hugh O'Neill. And for Cardiff, 2 goals each for Rick White and Rob Zara. Single goals for Pat Murphy, Daniel Lloyd, Kyle Walford, Trent Debnam and Bradley Edwards.
Sensational game of footy here at number 1. Still a long way to go, but at 3/4 time, it's the Cardiff Hawks by 14 points.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel, and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morisset. Subway Morisset is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service.
Command, this is Car 33. I'm going on my break.
We have a visual.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.
Welcome back to number one. Great game of footy this one. It's Cardiff leading by 14 points at three-quarter time. Still anyone's game, but certainly a strong breeze now going the way of Killarney Vale in this last term. It will be strong from the right to the left of screen. Probably a 3-goal breeze. We saw Mick Ryan take advantage of that in the third term, kicking a couple of massive goals. But Cardiff certainly look up and about, Mick.
They do, mate, and they won't go away easily. I reckon they'll give a good showing here and every chance to win this game.
Absolutely. Still a long way to go, but gee, what a great game of footy it is. So back in the middle, McVeigh starting in the middle of the ground there. He's playing on Adlington. They both had good third quarters. They force a draw. Adlington does well. The tackling pressure now has just gone up another notch. The players still like they've got plenty in their legs. Really important here with the clearances. Killarney Vale got absolutely smashed in the clearances by Cardiff in that third term. Just gang tackled there. It'll be another stoppage.
A lot of congestion around this footy at the moment, Ryan. Players can tell how important this clearance will be.
Yeah, Sinclair there with the punch over the top. Mumford ran onto it, just dropped it at the wrong time. Haig was clean off the deck, gave it back into Adlington, and he just kicked straight up in the air. So the bounce side kind of beats everybody, but getting there first is O'Neill. He's going to pass it on this occasion, looking for Ryan. Does he get there? He doesn't. Playing on Daly down there, and it's pretty well done. Daly, is that deliberate? Throw it in, he says. Well played, Daly. 1-on-1.
Good option there by Daly, and possibly very lucky they didn't get pinged for deliberate.
Yeah, just not a great kick. Just kicked it up in the air. You know, you probably have to kick a little bit closer to Rhino if he's going to run onto those ones. So boundary throw in again. It's deep forward here for the Hawks. Comes back to Hilliard. Just handballs it backwards. Ends up in the hands of Ryan. Gets onto his right boot. Does he kick it? Oh, no. It goes across the face. Out on the full. So Brendan Lewis here. He's been the general all day. Goes to White. He'll play on and use his left foot here. Kicks it out to our broadcast wing. It's a good kick. Debnam. Alex not the handball there to Edwards. Goes off that one step, just to no one in particular. Oh, umpire's found a free kick and it'll go the way of the Bombers. So,
bit lucky there, Blackwood.
Yeah, he kicks it in towards full forward. They're outnumbered here, the Bombers. Good punch over the top came from Vukovic. Getting there first is Adlington. Handball back to Stewart. And they still work it through hands. Now Metcalf, who's a good user of the footy, just runs through centre half back. Gives it off to Gordon. He goes wider once more, and away go the Hawks. This is pretty good play. Chapman it might be. Kicks it into the middle of the ground. Little half volley couldn't be taken down there by, I think it was Koshin, Jeremy Koshin in the 25. That goes straight up in the air. Mark that one. Lenson couldn't. Vukovic came over and affected the spoil. Lenson's still there. Couldn't take clean possession. Neither can Zara. He just drags it in. This might be another stoppage. Play on. The ball came out. So now Lenson buys a little bit of time. Gets it onto the right boot. That's a ruckman's kick. Just scrubs it out towards the boundary. Well done to Cardiff. Sheldon's there. Goes under his legs. Goes out of play.
Bit lucky there, Cardiff. But Cardiff look to reset here and get a quick clearance out, I imagine, to that far side of the wing here.
Yeah, just when they get their hands on the footy, they just have to, take their time, settle with it. Zara, or Debnam rather, gets it on the right boot now. Has that one got the legs? He does. He kicks a goal. Debnam kicks his second for the day, much to the displeasure of Coach Dugan. And Killarney Vale right back in this with that breeze. You probably wouldn't back against them from here.
It'd be hard not to, Ryan. That first goal always helps in the last quarter. Ryan, did you know Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider, delivering a wide range of services to our diverse range of customers? For all your security needs, call Wilson Security on 1300 Wilson.
Very well read. Very well read there, Mick.
Great bunch of blokes, Wilson Security.
And the major sponsor of the Black Diamond League now for a while.
And as Berkey would say, great to have him on board.
Yeah, spot on. So it's a centre square infringement, and it's going to go the way of the Hawks. Gee, John Pigeon will be ripping his hair out. Sheldon now. Oh, good smother, though, from Sinclair. McVeigh gets his hands on it. Handball's out further, and they got a little bit of space here, the Bombers. Can Mumford run onto it? He can't. Haig, Mr. Reliable. He's on his wrong side. Just threw that out. That's a throw. McVeigh, though. Pirouettes. Now taps it off the ground. Blackwood will get there first. He can't take possession either. Mumford can. Handballs it to no one in particular. White might get there first. It'll be a boundary throw in. We played nearly 5 minutes here of the fourth term, and it's an 8-point lead to Cardiff. Perfectly poised is this game. Boundary throw in here. Centre wing. Sinclair doing the ruck work. Was he held? No. Blackwood there. Away go the Bombers. Mumford from 50. He's the look. Kicked it beautifully. Does it come back? It is touched.
Great effort there.
Well done by the fullback there in Vukovic. He's one of the premier fullbacks of the competition. Saved a certain goal there from Mumford. So good play. So Metcalf now will be doing the kicking in duties. Goes out to that back flank. He's looking for Mayo. Takes the mark there. Couldn't be chopped off by Lenson. Now Hillier takes clean possession. Little handball over the top. Cardiff doing well here, working it. It's a strong tackle. That's holding the ball, isn't it? He's done the full 360. Play on anyway. It ends up with the Bombers. Lenson beats one. Now he's got to use it well here, the big ruckman. He doesn't. The kick just lets him down.
He's finding plenty of ball, the ruckman, Lenson here.
Yeah, just a couple of kicks have let the young guy down. Sheldon went for the switcher play, missed Haig.
With this win, I think you'd much rather Lenson go long, direct to the top of the goal square.
Yeah, just trying to be a little bit too cute with it and cost them a shot on goal there. Player down on the ground, for the Bombers in the middle of the ground. So we'll see what happens. Play continues. Sinclair has it. He'll have a shot on goal. Right foot snap. He kicks it. Killarney Vale back. It's a 1-point margin here at Newcastle number 1. And as we predicted, the team kicking to the left has had all the dominance. 78 plays 77.
In 2015, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights live than 3. Prime coverage includes 4 games every round on 7 Mate, including the marquee Friday and Saturday night matches. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local team.
So Killarney Vale player coming off the ground now.
Young Brendan Martin there.
Okay, so Brendan Martin in the 29 will come off. Spent a little bit of time getting some treatment from the trainers.
Campbell Wilson, which
Campbell Wilson,
I've been told is his dad's favourite son.
His dad's favourite son.
And who says their parents don't have favourites?
Yeah. I certainly second rate in my family. Let me give you the tip. Ball up again. A point the margin. Can Cardiff respond now? All the momentum with the Bombers. And another good tap from Sinclair. Hasn't he stood up in the second half?
Starting to come into his own, Shawnee Sinclair here. He's going again at the footy here.
Yeah. Just shows you some of those kicks early in the game from Daniel Lloyd from outside 50 going to the right, how good a kick they actually were to carry that distance. So 7 minutes played, ball up, a blood roll. So we'll have a quick stop. Next week we'll be covering Warners Bay, Nelson Bay.
Should be a good game, right?
Yeah, I believe that's a home game for the Bulldogs. So that'll be up at Fagan Oval.
Is that for a spot in the finals, that one? That would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, actually, it might depend today on the results as well. I know Nelson Bay, well, we haven't got the scores in live, but you'd expect them to be probably beaten by Terrigal Avoca. And the Bulldogs might have Newcastle City at home. So, a couple of big games for those clubs. That'll be our last home and away game before going into finals. So, certainly heating up here in the Black Diamond, but really good game of footy here. Momentum's a big thing. We know Cardiff won't play finals, but Killarney Vale, if they lose today, you can't really see them knocking off one of the top two sides. Like, they've got a long way to go if they're going to lose to Cardiff.
Yeah, I totally agree. They need to be sparked into action here.
Yep. Sinclair, he's just rucked sensationally. I don't know why he wasn't played from the beginning of the game. Is that holding the footy there against Gordon? Or was it lost in the tackle? Probably a good decision there from Luck.
Always a good decision by Lucky. And remember, umpires are never wrong, Ryan.
That's correct. They're your words. It's a boundary throw up. Down there was Mumford. Now Cardiff can't get it out of their half-back line. It just goes to show what it can mean. He ducked ahead to McVeigh, Mark McVeigh, and you'd have to say a player of his calibre, someone that can kick the ball that well.
Drew that well, Mark McVeigh.
He'll have a shot here, surely. The champion.
Distance will not be an issue here for Mark.
Even with the Hemis?
Even with the Hammies.
So, big kick here for McVeigh. Hasn't kicked a goal today. Goes back, kicks it right from the paint. Left foot drop punt. Has it got the distance? It does. Misses to the right. Scores are level. 9.5 minutes played here at the final term. All the momentum with the Bombers and the breeze, not to mention. And they've got their zone happening here. It's the half-ground zone. Every player actually is forward of halfway. Sheldon kicked it himself but fumbled. Doesn't get a heap of penetration on it. It goes, just floats over the 50 line. Getting there first will be the Bombers player in Campbell Wilson. Now the skipper in Nick Koshin. Clever little handball. Sold a little bit of that candy. And away go the Hawks into the middle of the ground. This is a big contest for Chapman, but too big, too strong, too good a player was Rick White. He's going to switch play here and go for Mumford. So Mumford will probably play on. This next kick's important. Little chip over the top. It was a good one. It went for Debnam. Debnam reels around onto the right boot. Now he kicks long, but that's a poor kick. Metcalf just dropping back. It was Blackwood, I think it was intended for, but he never looked like it. So now Sheldon out of fullback. He'll go to that left foot that he likes so much. And he'll go for, I'm not sure if it's Haig or maybe O'Brien out there on that half-back flank. We've had trouble calling players out there all day. Strong mark there taken by Ryan. What a great third quarter he had. He was instrumental. So he'll drive Carter forward. You can just see the footy hold up in the breeze. Oh, strong mark.
Switches on here.
Yeah, so now White again. Played a little bit all over the ground today, Rick White. This has to be a good kick. It is. It finds the temporary ruckman in Sinclair. This is the important one. You can just see how many players they've got behind the ball here, the Hawks. So they elect to run it out. They're going to try and break the lines. It was a poor handball, though, for Barrett. He has enough time, Barrett. He tries to get back inside. Just too much pace for Koshin and Adlington. Kicks it into the middle of the ground. They've got numbers here, the Bombers. Do they get clean possession? No, it's well done to Mayo. High tackle. Well played, Mayo. Excellent stuff. He'll have it at centre-half back for the Hawks. He was severely outnumbered. Take your time, son. No need to rush it. Plenty of time remaining. Scores a level. Just kicks it to a one-on-one contest. Edwards up against Gibson, and it's a mark, is it? Yeah, well battled there to the smaller man, Edwards.
Paid the man in front there, Darryl.
Yeah, had a couple of bites at it. It would probably touch, but they often pay those. So Edwards goes forward. Once again, too many numbers for the Hawks. You can see now it's Mumford playing the loose man for the Bombers. So this kick from Sheldon's got to be really good. It is a good one. It's a perfect kick, actually. Hits Jeremy O'Brien. He handballs. Why would you handball that? Play on anyway. Don't listen to me. Gibson kicks forward. Too many numbers, though, for the Bombers. Ball goes to ground. Adlington gets there first. Clever handball over the top for Chapman. He goes handballs even longer for O'Neill. Handball inside. Great play, Cardiff. Bo kicks the goal. Play of the day, Mick. Call it early, would you?
Yeah, I'll give that one. That's the play today right there.
Could have himself. I don't know who was the best part in that play. It'll probably go to the ruckman in Bo.
Good teamwork.
Strong teamwork. Goal of the day, no doubt about it. And it's now one straight kick the lead to the Cardiff Hawks at home. There's at least probably 10, 12 minutes of play remaining. Game time.
Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. They are also proud supporters of the Black Diamond AFL. As you said, Ryan, there's still plenty of time. Cardiff really needed that goal. Great team goal.
I don't know who I'm going to give the man of the match to either. There's been a lot of good plays across the ground. So now Cardiff get another clearance, and here they go. Was pretty well done there to Edwards. He fell over, but he did well with the half volley. Back to Stewart. A cool head. Kicks it forward looking for Ryan. Probably the boundary line would be a win here for Cardiff just to force a stoppage. He keeps it in though, Ryan. Was it to his own detriment? It might have been. Now Brendan Lewis, Mr. Reliable. He probably could have taken it out of bounds there, Rhino. Anyway, Brendan Lewis, clever kick across the ground and good hands there on Edwards. He took a mark. Edwards here, fullback. It's easy enough for both these sides to chip it across fullback. It's when they go forward that they're a little bit more outnumbered, but it seems pretty... It's Blackwood who is the loose man for the Bombers. Can he affect this... I beg your pardon, not the Bombers. They're attacking. So they go forward. He might go for Blackwood. Goes over all their heads. And no, it is Blackwood. So he's got it on the half-forward flank. Paid the mark. Now the Cardiff players flood back. Chapman's back there. He's going to make him come around here as if he's having a shot. 84 plays 78. Important forward thrust here for the Bombers. Goes to the goal square. Can someone take a grab? Was it touched? It was. 5 points the margin. So Sheldon, he's been good up back. Heaps of the footy. Kicks it out to that back flank. He's gone there a lot today. Went for the skipper in Koshin. Oh, it's a free kick he's paid maybe for in the back there against Koshin.
On the full.
Oh, was it on the full? Was it okay?
Young Cartwright here.
So
brings it in board to McVeigh.
Yeah, he's going to switch it into McVeigh. Why wouldn't you? So Mark McVeigh, very experienced footballer. He just holds it up. He just waits for the right option. Waits for someone to present. Now he kicks along to the hot spot. It's a good spot to kick it. Debnam's down there. Oh, strong hands, Debnam. Really good contested mark, and it just shouldn't have happened. He took it at eye level pretty much.
Between two blokes. Very good mark by a smaller man.
Exactly.
In height.
That's right. So, Debnam.
It's been good today.
20 metres out. He's had a good game. Has he kicked the goal there? Oh, he's missed it. Just stabbed at it.
That could hurt. That could really hurt.
Let himself down. So that's a 4-point lead out to the Hawks. So just hang on. Looking for win number 2 of the season. They beat Nelson Bay, I think.
One of the bays.
Yeah. Sheldon kicks to himself. Once again goes out to that familiar back flank. I wish they'd come out this side so we could see it.
They just want to play in the sun, Ryan.
That's right. You can't really blame them for that. Newcastle number 1. It's held up beautifully. There certainly is that breeze, though, favouring the left of screen. Killarney Vale's end. Ball up again. Lenson up against Koshin. Ball goes out of play once more. So next week it'll be Warners Bay up against Nelson Bay. That'll be from Fagan Oval. The last home and away match of the season. Could be the second last, actually. We'll check the draw, perhaps. Either way, we're rounding up in 2015. It's nearly time for finals, and it's good play here. The Hawks, they go forward. But just superbly read back there by Brendan Lewis. Surprise, surprise. He comes into the middle of the ground and goes for Mumford, who plays on immediately. Kicks it into full forward. Looking for Lloyd. Couldn't take the grab. Good contest there given by the Cardiff backman. Oh, they're just a little bit fumbly. It was Vukovic on that occasion. Had enough time to keep it in. Went for a little handball over the top. Just a little bit untidy.
It's a win for Killarney Vale there.
Absolutely it is. Might have been actually Shackleton back there in that contest, was it?
Yeah, Corey
Lloyd.
Shackleton makes you forward.
Makes you forward, Shack. So boundary throw in here, half forward flank for the Bombers. Certainly had more of the footy going with the breeze here in the last term. They trail by 4 points. You'd probably have to think Cardiff will need to kick another goal to win. You feel like Killarney Vale are just going to keep coming.
Yeah, I reckon if Cardiff can kick 2 quick goals, the game might be theirs.
So Mayo does well, just backs himself. Kicks it out to our broadcast side. Who's going to take a grab here? It's a 2-on-2. Hay got hands to it. Beautifully read by Gibson. The crowd lifts for them. Clever pass to Ryan. He fumbled.
Well rowed by Liam Gibson there.
Yeah, it was superbly roved.
Killarney just got called out, having 2 up, not 1 down.
Boundary throw in here. Nearly into time on here in the final term. McVeigh just watches it go over the line. In front of Ryan. So boundary throw in here right on our broadcast wing. Great game of footy this one. It'll come right down to the wire. Well done there to White. Just paddled in front of himself. Mumford went backwards to go forwards. McVeigh was classy. Now they give it off and away they go through Daly. He kicks it to centre half forward. Coming in over the top. It was well done there by Metcalf, but well read by Daniel Lloyd. Lloyd gets on the right boot. Has he kicked a goal? Daniel Lloyd. Oh, sensational play, Bombers. Classy finish from Lloyd, and they've hit the front.
It all started by Mark McVeigh there. Quick, clean hands out. Quick in board. Daniel too big, too strong, and then dots it from 55.
We've said it already. He's a classy user of the footy. And one of the best kicks in the league, probably the best kick in the league. Daniel Lloyd finishes and puts the Bombers in front by 2 points.
GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in Nahana for the past 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment engineering services for our customers.
Wow, what a game of footy here. We're just about into time on. Cardiff trying to wheel their side over the line. They've got a lot to do though. All the scoring's been to the left of screen. Well done there to Jolliffe. He just kicks it into space looking for O'Neill to run onto it, but it might be Edwards who'll get there first for the Bombers. He takes clean possession, just runs it over the line. Is it a boundary throw-in?
Yeah, he's called a boundary. Smart play there by Jolliffe. Get it out wide,
yeah,
reset.
He's got it out wide, reset. So Cardiff will want to go forward here again. Koshin up against Lenson. I like Sinclair in the ruck for the Bombers. Anyway, Cardiff go forward, getting their first is, I think, Murphy in the 14. There's a good pass there from Murphy and hits here Campbell Wilson. So Campbell Wilson's got it in the middle of the ground. Not a great kick, just sits it up for Mumford. Can he run onto it? The bounce is a pretty good one. Well done by Vukovic, just left his man to chase after the footy. It's excellent by Mumford. Has he kicked a goal? No. Out on the full.
Did all the hard work there, young Tommy Mumford.
3 points the margin. Sheldon here. He's played on. No one meant the mark, so he probably will play on here, Sheldon.
Go, Cashew, go.
So Cashew, Sheldon, he has a bounce. Casually, they're going to go by hand. Who have they got out here? He's going to go for Haig. It has to be. Oh, it's a terrific kick. Breaks the lines and a good mark there. Or free kick taken by Haig. He plays on his left side. Lowers the eyes. It's a terrible kick. Haig does well. Finishes up his own work. Gives it back to Chapman. Oh, McVeigh. Great tackle. Oh, bounces. Comes back inside O'Neill. Don't argue. Terrific. Oh, what a tackle. Brendan Lewis. Skipper's tackle. Holding the footy. Last line of defence. And what a great tackle by Mark McVeigh to force the issue as well.
Good pressure
and
by
now
Bombers.
a little Hemi there. Is it for
Shawnee Sinclair?
Sinclair. Hopefully he's all right. He kicks it, 60 metres, so he does all right if it is about Hemi.
Wouldn't mind
Sheldon
being
come
able to
over
kick
the
it
top. Boundary throwing, but what a great piece of play by McVeigh and Brendan Lewis at fullback there for the Bombers. They look like they'd score for sure.
Pure desperation there by the skipper, Brendan Lewis.
So 86 plays 84. They come back here. Sheldon, he'll be on his left side. He's good on both sides of his body. Just chips it down, but it's well read there by Ryan Barrett. And Barrett will have it on centre wing. Is it too early to start winding down the clock? Nearly 22 minutes played. Yeah, wind up the clock maybe. Matic back there, little handball to no one in particular. Cashew Sheldon might get there first. It'll beat them all. Another boundary thrown out on that far side. We have confirmation. It is a 2-point lead to the Bombers. Looking for win number 8 of the season. Cardiff would desperately love to win their second game of the season on their Old Boys Day, celebrating the 10-year anniversary of their 05 flag. They get the clearance on this occasion. They'll be looking for Ryan. Barrett jumped at it and did pretty well. Just gained another 20 metres for his side. Excellent play there from the Bomber Crummer era in Brendan Martin. Doing a little bit with it out there on that far wing. I can't see who it is, but they go forward again, the Bombers, to centre half forward. Looks like it's all Cardiff, though. Good contest there given by Lloyd. They kick it back into the hot spot. Getting there first will be Debnam. Can he have a shot at goal? Can he seal it for the Bombers? He can't. It actually goes out on the full, so no score. Hit the behind post. The margin remains at 2 points. Sheldon, as he's done all day, will do the kicking in. Not from the point, though, from an out on the full. Ben Stewart, do they have to roll the dice now? 23 minutes gone. We're into time on. Just draws a player. Here they go, the Hawks. This little chip to nobody. They have to go at this contest. Doing pretty well there with both players, but Rick White does well for the Bombers, and Brendan Lewis kicks them forward once more. No mark could be taken there by Daniel Lloyd. Stewart does really well as he legged. Good decision from the umpire.
Great decision there.
Oh, he's played the advantage as Koshin. He had to go. Oh, he was lucky.
No, I think that's the right call. That's the right call.
Play stopped, didn't it? So.
Because I think it was more the controlling umpire wasn't calling that one. So good
handball's given off here to Sheldon. They play on. Sheldon now, did he get a kick away in time? He did to Adlington. Kicked an important goal. Here's Adlington. Nearly 24 minutes played here at number 1 Sports Ground. They have to roll the dice, the Hawks. Well done. Down there to Pat Murphy. Also a goal kicker today. It'll be a boundary throw in.
He's a big boy, that young Pat Murphy, isn't he?
Isn't he? Yeah, he came into the side today. He was a inclusion through the week. Boundary throw in. Koshin doing the ruck work. They're out over the back here. Maddock might get there first. Little kick off the ground was good enough. Gives it off to Gibson. Have they got a mark? Oh, Edwards. Brad Edwards was brilliant across fullback. It looked like a mark for all money to O'Neill.
Wowee.
24 minutes played. 24 minutes. They go up the middle. So the Bombers now through Martin. He's got it in the middle of the ground. They kick to centre half forward. This will be a big contest here. And a good mark there taken by Metcalf. Just worked his opponent under the ball here in Daniel Lloyd. They go across to Stewart, but the kick missed the target. Sheldon's got a little bit of space here. He could have run with the footy. He chose not to. The kick was a pretty good one. Just got a hand on it there was Gibson. But it's well done there as the Bombers go forward once again. It's end to end. Good mark, Sheldon. Nearly 25 minutes of play gone. You feel like there's probably enough time. There haven't been too many stoppages in terms of goals. Gibson, can he take a grab? He can't. It goes over the back. Well done there to Murphy. Handball back inside. White's got it. That was high. Advantage played. It will be. So White on centre wing on our broadcast side. Kick it long. He does. They're out the Bombers. This could be it. 25 minutes gone. It'll be a shot at goal.
Can't be long left, Ryan. Can't be long left
Shackleton will have a shot at goal. They lead by 2 points, the Bombers. He kicks this, they probably win. Shackleton from 40 metres, makes no mistake. Killarney Vale look home, it's an 8-point lead. 25 and a half minutes played here at Newcastle number 1.
Interesting, Corey Shackleton was just tying up his shoelaces out the back there, and next thing he knows, he's got a kick from Rick White straight down his throat.
Yeah, well done there to Shackleton and Killarney Vale. Really even contest for the last few minutes. They were good enough to get it forward. And you'd think now, nearly 26 minutes of game time.
If Cardiff are to win, they need to get this centre clearance and goal straight away.
I'm just thinking of how long we played in each quarter. I think it was about this amount of time, maybe the 27-minute mark. So is there enough time left? Probably not. Anyway.
Cardiff have chucked the big guns in the centre, eh?
Yep, so Koshin doing the ruck work. Bounce sort of beats them all. Getting there first will be Sheldon. He's just tried so hard now on his... That'll do it. Killarney Vale win this round 15 match at Newcastle number 1 to the tune of 92 points over Cardiff on their Old Boys Day. They were gallant all day in defeat. 84 to them. In the end, an 8-point win. A seesawing affair. What a great game of footy, Mick Smith.
Great game of footy, Ryan. A lot of people probably wouldn't have predicted such a contest, but Old Boys Day for Cardiff, and that's the Cardiff we know.
exactly
Cardiff,
right.
we know they're a better team than one win for the year, definitely.
Yeah, I think it was a 14-point lead at three-quarter time, but a very strong breeze from right to left saw the Bombers steam home. Can we look at the goal kickers, please, Mick?
Yeah, mate. The goal kickers for Cardiff with 2 goals each is Nick Cosin, Mick Ryan, Benny Stewart, and Liam Gibson. Single goal kickers for Cardiff: Jason Adlington, Max Hillier, Hugh O'Neill, Regan Bowe, and Regan Bowe.
Good stuff.
For Killarney Vale, multiple goal scorers with 2 each: Daniel Lloyd, Rick White, Rob Zara, Trent Dednam, and single goal scorers: Pat Murphy, Corey Shackleton, Kyle Walford, Sean Sinclair, and Bradley Edwards.
We'll come back to you in a second, Mick, for the play of the day. It'll be a $50 restaurant voucher for Das Hundhound. There was a couple of good plays down here from the Hawks. Also there for Mick Ryan. We'll come back to you in a second. I'll have a look at some of the better players. Firstly, for Cardiff, who unfortunately went down today, but they were very, very gallant. Thought Nick Cosin led from the front. He tried all day. Mick Ryan was inspirational, kicked a couple of really important goals. Ben Stewart was sensational. Thought Adlington stood up at certain passages as well. Sam Haig across half-back. He's having a really good year. Tim Sheldon was definitely one of their best players at full-back. Gibson was great again. Looking at the victorious Killarney Vale Bombers, really like the game of Barrett across half-back. Daniel Lloyd was good in patches as well. Rick White, probably in the second half, had a little bit more of the footy. Kyle Walford started the game really well. Sean Sinclair in the ruck I thought was really good. I think he's certainly got a lot of footy to be played in the ruck, in my opinion. I thought Zara was really good also. But for the Subway Morissette Man of the Match $20 voucher, it's going to go to the skipper of the Killarney Vale Bombers, number 7, Brendan Lewis. We'll now go over to Mick Smith for the $50 Das Hundhound play of the day.
My player today is to Mick Ryan for that goal and 50 at a crucial time at the game. I know they lost, but in front of the old boys, there was nothing. It was a good side of the day.
Probably the highlight of the day. The game was on a knife's edge at that stage. He'd missed a couple from that spot and just powered home a goal from about 55 metres. So congratulations to him. He'll get a good feed at Das Hundhound restaurants across Newcastle. And that'll just about do it from us. Next week it will be Warners Bay and Nelson Bay from Fagan Oval. It will be round 16 action. So on behalf of Mick Smith and myself, Ryan Webster, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Star 104.5 and Black Diamond AFL would like to thank the following sponsors for making it possible to hit the field week in and week out. Wilson Security. Wilson Security is Australia's largest and most innovative security provider. Prime 7. In 2014, Prime 7 has more footy on more nights, live and free. Newcastle Herald. The Newcastle Herald plays an integral part in the Hunter community. Star 104.5. Star 104.5 plays the music we all love and proudly supports Black Diamond AFL. BLK. BLK, the official apparel supplier to the Richmond Tigers, Western Bulldogs, GWS Giants, Adelaide Crows, Gold Coast Suns and Brisbane Lions. Belmont 16-Footers Sailing Club. Located on the picturesque Lake Macquarie, Belmont 16s is one of the premier venues in the Hunter region, offering the very best in dining, promotions and entertainment. GE Industrial Solutions, partnering with the mining community in the Hunter for the last 50 years, delivering safe and reliable electrical equipment and engineering services to our customers. Sports Coast Trophy and Embroidery. Sports Coast Trophy are the leading supplier of trophies and embroidery on the Central Coast. Waratah Sports. Waratah Sports has been specialising in sporting equipment, sporting apparel and trophies and medals on the Central Coast for over 20 years. Subway Morissette. Subway Morissette is open 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Car 33, proceed to level 2, check on its service.
Command, this is Car 33.
Don't miss the Wilson Security Black Diamond AFL this weekend. Entry to all games is free. Check out the game times and venues at bdafl.com.au. Black Diamond AFL and Prime 7, your local AFL team.